Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 27 of the Red Force Podcast. My name is Eric Tolato. Joining me today is Christian Tolato.
Welcome.
And today, very special guest, the Kingoflightning.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
King, how's it going? What's been going on this week, man? Usually recap the week with, the community shit. Talk to me. What's happening?
There's been a lot of stuff actually going on for this. We have, for One Piece sake, obviously, since it's their fourth podcast, we have a lot of stuff with the latest chapter, One Piece. Just officially came out today legally, which is, of course, awesome. And
legally,
yeah, of course, yeah, right, officially on Viz, and everybody should know if you're a manga reader, One Piece is going on now. Zoro is back, and the fanboys are having a field day. Oh my goodness!
King, you have no idea how happy that chapter made me. All right, you have no idea.
Yeah,
Zolo is back.
He was jumping up and down, doing a dance. He was all over the place.
No, of course.
So, you've been watching the anime? You've been looking at it? Or you just kind of leave it alone until something happens?
I've been watching the anime. I am up to date because Hokikan so far in the anime, I think, has actually been really good. They've done as of late, I have been noticing some, what I like to call C-team animation, where it's just like...
Yeah.
Dude, last week was fucking maybe the worst in history.
Yeah,
last week.
Last week was pretty bad
like
animation.
Rock bottom. This week's okay.
Yeah, this week was okay, but there was
acceptable.
one moment where I saw Smoothie, she's running from Big Mom, and I'm like, what is this? It just looked like some Mr. Game & Watch, just choppy running. I'm like, what am I looking at? This is
like three frames of animation.
Oh my god, it was terrible. So but at the same time, there are other moments where it's like Luffy and Big Mom. It's like, I don't know who does the shading,
it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, ever since Luffy came out of the cake, Big Mom has had this crazy shading over her face. I'm like, whatever they're doing here,
black.
I dig it. Yeah, just pure black. I'm like, Big Mom is looking fierce right now.
I think about 2 months ago, they've always had Natoshi, but now they've got a new quality guy, but I don't know his name yet. There's a new A-team guy, but yeah.
Bro, I want this guy, and then I want Natoshi to just combine teams all the time for One Piece, and then get no C teams allowed, because the C teams is what I can accept B team, all right, fine, but C team, come on, this is, and then sometimes the D team gets pokes her head in, and it's really really bad. I just before 3 frames of animation for a few seconds. We notice this stuff, and granted, I guess the problem ultimately is that it's an ongoing series. Ongoing series tend to have this problem more so than, let's say, seasonal anime. So it just, I guess it's, we get an episode every week of One Piece, so that's a plus in of itself. But the minus is that when it comes to animation as a whole, it's all over the place. The quality just jumps left and right, especially after, let's say, after the time skip, after the Whitebeard stuff. That's where things really start to fluctuate wildly.
Speaking of Whitebeard, we've got a chapter this week. 909.
Yeah, 909.
After an excruciatingly long break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the chapter, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Let's
start the chapter.
Yeah. So
let's go.
Yeah, this chapter I thought was. I thought it was very good when it came to Whitebeard's past, and then getting more info on Whitebeard. We didn't know that Whitebeard was, of course we didn't know until the chapter, but Whitebeard had a homeland. He took care of this place. Throughout his entire journey, he made sure that everything was okay in this place. I mean, he did things took the money. He even took food and that kind of stuff. So much money.
It's interesting for Whitebeard's it's interesting for Whitebeard's character. We've seen how he treats his men, but we get a little bit more details. Christian, do you want to start from the top?
All right, so we all know this week that a little birdie told us that Wano would be beginning 2 days before the chapter released. So did you get spoiled by that, King?
No, I actually had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah, so sure I do. The word got out that Wano was starting, so we all knew it was going to start this chapter.
I didn't believe it. Personally, I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll see what happens.
I mean, it was from a reliable source, so...
Christian's all over the forums, King.
Yeah.
He's looking for that deep knowledge.
I have seen so much Sanji bashing this week alone. It's crazy.
On the forums?
Yeah. Just on the forums, just non-stop.
Sanji, I don't understand.
Right? It's disrespect.
Why, it is disrespectful. Because, again, I just don't understand, why it's the case. It's I think that, for me, I don't want to write hop into the Sanji and Zoro stuff, so I guess we can save it for later. But I just
we'll save it for later.
Save it later.
Okay. Okay, so we start off the chapter with an Olympus cover story. Yeah. When is this cover story gonna end? Jesus and will Christ. Something happen?
I'm convinced that like it's too long for there nothing to happen. We're getting to like ridiculous levels.
It's like the sixth chapter of Olympus. What's going on?
Do you think the island he's attacking has any relevance?
It's got to tie back into something.
I feel like it is. Definitely. Yeah. But at the same token, I thought that Oda would end probably on this particular chapter for the cover story because he's attacking an island of some, I would assume, some notoriety, and then we leave it there. That's what I would assume. Is he
gonna cut to something new because we're in a new arc? I don't know what is.
Well, it's the 39th volume, so he probably wants to finish it on the 40th. Right. So maybe next week's the final one.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be the case too. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. But the cover story itself so far, I mean, they've been like fluctuating. Like you have the cover stories where you have Bartolomeo, he's actually actively in Shanks' territory, and then you have the Hydruden one where we just see the giants of his crew. So
yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, so I guess that in itself is also significant because we're seeing the members of like the new, I guess, giant pirates. By the same token, from what they're actually like doing, like actively, they're just gathering their forces. While again, you have Bartolomeo who's actively, you know, in Shanks' territory. You have Cavendish who also went back to his kingdom too to get some stuff. So you know.
The Don Tata actually came into the story through the cover stories. So.
This is the thing, right? Like, we had Jinbei looking for a poneglyph in Fisherman Island for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just for a
And then that eventually came up in Whole Cake Island. Do we think all these crew members are going to come in Wano or after?
It's got to be after Wano because there's, like, apparently this massive event that they're a part of.
But why set up, like, this situation now, you know what I mean? Why not do it later?
So you think they're gonna be the fleet that'll turn up in Wano for military support?
I mean, we're fighting apparently 2 emperors now, so maybe we need all the support we can get.
No, I don't think so. I think that because I would have said that this arc is supposed to be bigger, or more, you know, impactful than Marineford War. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then there's lurking legends, that kind of stuff too. What I think should happen definitely is I think because we know that Momonosuke is still at Zou because he's trying to learn more about Zunisha. I say he commands Zunisha to go to Wano. Now we're talking.
Yeah, probably.
Now we're talking, right? The fishermen are still really from
just
Big
like
Mom.
one-shots Kaido, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Kaido was going to pick up Zunisha and throw.
Yeah, pick up by his
That's going to happen.
That's going to be a scene. That's going to be a scene.
Yes. That's what I would love to see. Just grab him. Like, let me tell you why they say that in a one-on-one, Kaido never loses. Just grab him. Yeah. Get out of here, bro. Please. Yo, that's what I want to see.
So back to the chapter. So we're at a certain island in the New World. Alright, why are people taking the editor's notes that while the reverie continues is part of the story? It's not. It's an editor's note, and you should not take this as evidence.
Okay.
Alright? So, is reverie continuing or not? That's still a question.
I think we'll get to that when we finish the chapter, and like our predictions on what's happening next, but am I convinced that the reverie's over? Like 80%?
Yeah, we'll get to it at the end, but yeah. So don't take those editors' notes too seriously, because we know the editors cannot be trusted.
Yes.
Well, the thing about it, to be fair, right, Naoto did say that the reverie was going to end within 10 chapters, and we got, I think, about like 6 chapters total.
6, yeah.
For what is the reverie. And I say quote-unquote for that because it actually was some stuff for Dragon, and then the reverie starts at the end of the reverie arc, per se. So
this is the thing, right? The editors like only can tell the people what Oda is planning, and like Oda doesn't stick to the script, so you can't really blame the editors.
Oh, they're at least 4 chapters ahead, so
okay,
fair, right?
And that interview was like 2 weeks before Reverie ended, so maybe there's more to come. You know, maybe it's split up.
Because like the way I'd probably see it is that whatever happens with Company now, we may then shift over to the Reverie, because Reverie is 7 days as far as I recall. And then what we do is that we shift over to like other parts of the globe, like because we're not too sure where the law is currently. And again, we know that there's other forces like Momonosuke that are still in Zou, and then Luffy Company are not there yet. So then we shift over to the Reverie until Luffy Company get to Wano Kuni, and then we go back to Wano Kuni like in full.
Do you guys remember a few weeks ago when like there was no One Piece chapter because like they were out of schedule and like My Hero wasn't done in Shueisha? there was like this weird week where like everyone's schedule was fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you think that affected the referee in any way?
No.
Probably not. Yeah.
Not really, no.
Right, let's continue.
Alright, so Nekoromushi has amazing sailing skills due to his experience on the Pirate King ship.
Yeah.
We get it reintroduced to the Guardians. They're told to stay back into the town. They're too scary. Blackback,
The bull. Is he the bull?
Brody?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I can't remember the rest of the names.
What do you reckon, King? What do you think about Blackback's Sulong form?
I mean, listen, man. I mean, like, I don't think they all have like honed their Sulong forms. Like, I think only certain Guardians can do that. Like high-end Guardians like Pedro could do that. So, like, his could be like some crazy, it could be crazy, but he's gonna probably be a berserker, kind of like what Peckham's was, but he got snuffed out. So,
speaking of Peckham's, like, what the fuck?
Bro, he was surrounded. Like, it is what it is.
Is he dead?
King, during those chapters, I was saying there is 0% chance that the Vinsmoke are going to be able to fight all the Big Mom pirates, and Eric was not convinced. Alright? And he was right. I was right.
Alright. Fodder children, okay?
They're not fodder. They're Big Mom pirates.
Alright. Anyway,
but the fodder aren't...
Also, I was watching the anime and it reminded me, Caesar just disappears out of the story.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He's going to come back later on, though, definitely.
Yeah. So we get the Guardians. They can't go back into the secret village because they're too scary.
Yeah.
All right. So we get the Marco trivia for the plebs who read the wikis and don't read the manga for themselves.
Yeah.
Classic Oda. I don't mind it. Do you mind it?
Yeah, like we said, it's for our mate who doesn't remember anything, just to remind themselves who Marco is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so apparently, right, this confirms that Marco was his right-hand man.
Yeah.
And apparently this was a debate amongst the community.
Okay.
Alright, the Cancer Lords were like, nah, Marco's not the right-hand man. I don't understand where this theory came from, but apparently this chapter confirms it.
I haven't heard that there's a debate between Marco being the right-hand man. Who do they think it was?
The forums are up in arms that Marco is apparently confirmed to be the right-hand man.
Well, they think it was AEST or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea why.
Dude, how many forms do you patrol, bro? Like,
I'm on Oro Jackson and I'm deep in there, right? You gotta keep tabs on what the forums are doing.
The only way he could go deeper is to learn Japanese and go on 4chan.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is
the deep abyss.
Yeah,
the deep abyss.
Right there.
I'll never return from there.
I think that if anything, because I have heard something of the sort through the grapevine, but the way I see it is, I think the issue is that Whitebeard, I think, was kind of hinted at that Whitebeard was grooming Ace to take over. So that Ace, in a sense, would be the intended right-hand man of the Whitebeard pirates, but Ace passed away. So the thing here is, in actuality, when you look at who the actual right-hand man is, it's Marco, and it has Marco for a long time. But the intended one should have been Ace. And then on top of that, it's also kind of a little bit weird when you look at the other right-hand man we've seen so far in combat, and that's Katakuri. Yeah. And in Katakuri, this also goes back to the Kenbosho no Haki thing the Halshun Haki thing, where Katakuri has Halshun Haki, but as far as you know, Marco doesn't. So
I think the thing is with Marco, it's like...
It's a time skip issue. I'm convinced it's a time skip issue.
It is a time skip issue, but like... If Katakuri was introduced to, like, fighting admirals, would he look worse than what he is? Because he's fighting, like, a lower opponent, so he can beat up on him? Like, Marco has to fight, like,
I don't know about that.
Because I think everybody recognizes that. I mean, the battle was called... It has several monikers, but one of the monikers for the battle was, like, the Battle of the Strongest, or like the War of the Strongest. Yeah. So, like, we know that these guys are some of the top... Like, we had guys like Whitebeard... Mihawk, the world's greatest swordsman, wanted to see how far he was from Whitebeard. Whitebeard, the world's strongest man. So it's like, we understand that this is, the right-hand mans, they have weight, definitely. But at the same time, they're still going to be inferior overall to a lot of these other guys that are fighting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When and if Marco comes to Wano, I'm sure he'll be around Katakuri level. He'll be rescaled to fit the appropriate level.
So we get reintroduced to Marco. He uses his healing flames on a Sphinx. I believe that's what the beast is called.
Isn't it a...
No, it's a sphinx.
It's a
I looked it up.
sphinx.
Yeah.
But it's a really smaller version of a sphinx.
Yeah, it's a really small sphinx.
Right.
Maybe that's where they grow them.
Yeah, possibly.
This is the thing, right? This healing ability confirms that all that what we thought was possible is possible, right? But Oda, being the smart man that he is, doesn't make it overpowered. It's not that
balanced.
good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a small Wolverine factor where you just heal quicker.
Yeah. It's not like instant healing, kind of like,
I think that's fair for the balancing of the world. Otherwise, people would have questions about Marineford.
It's pretty good for Luffy to run away and Marco to heal him, and then Luffy to come back later.
I mean, we'll get into why Marco's not going to Wano,
Yeah.
according to the official translation.
Okay.
So, we'll get into that. Alright, so, I have a question. Does Marco gets the title of doctor.
Yeah.
Does he have medical knowledge, or does he just use his healing ability to heal people?
I think it's a front.
That's my question.
I think in this case, for this particular island, he's a doctor. That's what his abilities can do. And they have no other doctor there per se, because the island is like a lawless territory, so they probably lack surface that kind of stuff.
I mean, with Law's Fruit, he needs like the doctor's skills to actually like do surgeries.
Yeah.
But Marco wouldn't. He just need to put his hands on people and heal them.
Right. It's like like Law. I remember Law. He actually like went through like years of medicine when he was younger, and he was actually honed for that.
Doctors and shit.
Yeah, as well as Chopper. Whereas Marco's just has fire. That's it.
Yeah. So probably a front. I think that's fair enough. So
for fuck's sake.
So Marco, fucking dog's going nuts outside. Alright, so Marco has healing abilities.
Just for the people out there.
They're at a Sphinx Ranch.
It's what is it? 7 in the morning?
Yeah.
7:45. There we go.
Good morning.
Alright, so they're in a Sphinx Ranch. Marco's looking after the village. He loves the village. The people love him.
Yeah.
You know, he's pretty much the
happy times at the village. Yeah.
He's pretty much the he looks after it. Yeah. According to Marco, Whitebeard made the village. He founded it. Mm-hmm. This secret village behind the waterfall. So that might come into play later. All right, we get an interesting line from Marco that is somewhat confusing.
Yeah. To
me, and about the world government's position and their status in the world.
Yeah.
Marco says countries that can't join the world government because they're too poor to pay the heavenly tribute.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
Alright.
Sidebar. A little bit of a rant time. So what this is saying is the world government is not interested in owning the entire planet.
Yeah.
They're only interested in gathering resources from rich countries.
Okay.
So we get told constantly that the celestial dragons are the gods of the world and that they created it, but they don't want to dominate the entire world because they're not willing to take over places that can't pay them.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have no value to them ultimately. It's like, because like there's a certain way of life that they lead, and they want to be able to live that certain way of life. Like again, when you think about how are these guys able to, let's say, afford people and have a slave auction like that? Well, it's because they get these tributes. So if they have a certain lifestyle, and countries that are too poor, they can't afford to, let's say, supply their lifestyle. If they're not in the New World, or if Yonko doesn't have rule over them, whether it's a part of the Grand Line or North Blue or West Blue, that kind of stuff, then they have no protection from pirates. So they have no marine bases, that kind of stuff. So that's the downside of that. But again, if they want to, because like it's the heavenly tribute here is like you're not being protected by they're the gods, and so if you can't give tribute to the gods, then you don't have the protection of the god. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, I'm just confused because from my understanding before all these information at the Reverie, it was kind of hinted at that the world government's kind of this like world dominating force, and that they're suppressing people and they're sort of an evil organization. But now we're getting counter information where they're kind of just like a UN in a sort, because they're like, you don't have to be a part of them, but if you're not a part of their organization, they won't protect you.
Right.
So there's a trade-off there. You're not owned by the world government, but they won't protect you.
This is the thing about ownership, right? I still think the world government run like the world's rules.
Yeah.
if you break the world government's rules, then you're in trouble. It doesn't mean that because you're not a part of the world government, you're immune to their rules.
Yeah. So, effectively, it's pretty much protection money. Okay. Imagine like a mafia.
Yeah.
You pay the protection money, or you don't get protected.
Yeah, it goes back to, like, why do the Celestial Dragons need money if they have a military might to, like, force people to do things? It just comes down to, like, it's easier just to use money to get
Alright, so, if your country is self-sustaining, why even be a part of the world government? Well, if your country has your own army, has resources to run its own economy, why do you need the world government?
Well, again, it depends on, number one, outside forces. So, in the case of the world, a lot of times you have these, groups, gangs, pirates. I mean, even from like the beginning of the story, there was like, let's say, mountain tribes, like in like where Luffy was staying in the Goa Kingdom, and they ran roughshod. So you would need protection from these groups, and if you don't have a military like Wano Kuni, and you can't, because Wano Kuni, as far as you know, is like it's one of those exceptions to the rule where they're completely self-sustaining and they're so powerful to where, again, even the Marines can't, they're hesitant on that. But even still, they're in the new world, and now we know that Kaido kind of runs the show. So
I think this argument is pretty good for the new world, but for the Grand Line, you got places like, take for example Alabasta. They're pretty much self-sustaining. Yeah. They have their own armies. They have their own resources. Crocodile went in there and fucked shit up. Right. But like, there was a revolution there. Where was the Marines to stop that for the king? You know what I mean? Like, what does this protection give you? It doesn't give you anything, apparently.
Like, this is the thing. It's like, it's like perceived protection. You pay it and you think you're gonna be protected.
You like plant or world government.
It's kind of like the same thing with Drum Island. Like, Dalton just took over like the country pretty much by force, and the world government just accepted him as the king.
Yeah,
it's kind of like they don't get involved in like military coups at all.
It's weird because I think if you're a king of a country and you're paying this heavenly tribute, alright, apparently it's very expensive. You would want your money's worth when a revolution happens and you call upon, alright, the world government, and they don't turn up.
Okay.
Well, the next thing, but the next thing could also be a fear element to it, because when I think about it, when you go all the way back to Enies Lobby, and then you go back to like the Rob Lucci flashback, I remember Rob Lucci by himself was the one that took care of all these guards, and then he kind of forced the king's position to join the world government, where originally they weren't a part of the world government, as far as I recall. I could be wrong about that, but at the bare minimum, there could be a fear element too, where it's like, if we don't join the world government, then they're gonna bear their fangs on us. So we have a military, we have our forces.
I think the Rob Lucci flashback's like a good example for like, I think that's like the only time where we see government officials come in to assist.
But here's the thing: you've got
so they assisted them, but then he also killed all the country soldiers in the process. All the prisoners, because again, like they were too weak and that kind of stuff, and so he executed them.
And Rob Lucci's a villain, so
and then you've got countries like Germa that want to take over the entire North Blue, but they're a part of the world government, attacking world government nations, and the world government doesn't get involved.
It's an interesting and complex system. What
is going on with the politics of the One Piece world?
Because the German are royalty, so from the standpoint of their nation, and their nation just travel around. But at the same time, it's like it could be the case where they need to keep a country like Germa in the world government so they can kind of maintain and watch over them, especially knowing that Judge and Vegapunk used to team up. So they know that Judge is a very smart individual and he has his tech. His tech is potentially, game-changing. The fact that they can manipulate the gene factors, that's game-changing in so many ways. So want to keep Judge on the good side rather than the bad side. But again, his ambitions, apparently 300 years plus deep, those superseded his desire to stay in the world government.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Drum Island is like an example of just like the entirety of Germa on just a bigger scale. Like they don't get involved in like military coups. They just want the tribute, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess.
A weird system. I don't know.
All right, so a little bit of the theory time here. All right, so Whitebeard is a product of this system.
Yeah,
he was an orphan, grew up in poverty, went out to sea, became an emperor.
Yeah.
If the world government was part of this nation, would this have happened? Probably not, because he would have lived in some sort of
Decent
a decent
place.
country.
Yeah.
Decent country wouldn't have to, struggle on the streets.
Okay.
So, if I were the world government, and I wanted to snuff out the pirates, you would stop orphans you'd stop crime, would you not?
Christian, the thing is,
Right? You would stop crime. You wouldn't foster crime.
We talk about this all the time. The logistics of trying to run a one world government.
Well, the world government's inept. The world government is inept if they can't pull this off.
We're well aware that the world government's
all right,
inept.
so.
And then stopping crime and stuff too is kind of like it's kind
What
of.
would be the crime rate in the One Piece world? Like what?
Well,
80%.
Here's the thing: they could stop crime with economic policy.
Yeah.
Right, because they're creating areas in the world where they're extremely poor and they're desperate, and that creates criminals, right?
Yeah.
So. If I was the world government, I would be like, I don't want another Whitebeard to turn up. So let me invest.
Maybe they just want to keep the balance, Christian.
That's what I'm saying. Theory time. The world government wants to keep the balance. They want to keep the battle between good and evil going till the end of time. Because we get Gandhi saying the balance is out of whack.
Yeah.
He doesn't say there are too many... The pirates... we need to eliminate all the pirates. He says the balance.
Okay.
So my theory is the world government want to create evil. Yeah. So they have something to fight. So the Navy has something to fight. To keep the Celestial Dragons on top.
Yeah.
To keep all their systems going. Because if there's no bad guy, why pay the protection money?
Yeah. So
it's a profiting scheme for the Celestial Dragons to make money, stay on top as the number one guy. Because they'll have an enemy to... Good needs evil.
Yeah.
And this is what I think the world government's position is.
This is a children's book, right? Do you think Oda's going to go into these deep political themes?
I mean, Hunter x Hunter does it all the time.
Okay.
Other manga have done it in Shonen Jump. I don't think it's beyond... It's not that hard of a concept to understand. It's just... good needs evil to fight.
It's basically some deep state shit.
Evil so they can continue the system. But also on the gray side, getting back to the previous point, when it comes to the balance, there's also the issue of inequality, and inequality is a running theme in One Piece in all levels. Yeah. Where if you look at the Goa Kingdom, you can try your best to snuff out the roots, so people are less tended to become pirates or less tended to go against the government. By the same token, you have kingdoms like the Goa Kingdom, where an entire section is well off and rich and nobles, and they gate off the poor because they don't want to do anything with the poor at all, the outskirts people. And those people grow up to have these ambitions to kind of usurp them, and then the inequality forms there. Inequality in a greater sense would be, let's say, inequalities of, let's say, species, where you have fishermen who are underwater, but they want to be they actually want to be above the water, they want to see the sun, and they want to do X, Y, and Z and the other. They want to be able to live like everybody else does, like on the surface, but at the same time they can't because of the history of the fishermen and the injustice done upon them. And you can also say in the same case, like let's say the mink all lives or mostly live on Zou, and so the thing about it is that not only that, but they're mostly relegated to the New World. When you look at the other blues, the East Blue, as far as you know, the West Blue, the South Blue, and these other blues, things like giants and mink and long legs, they're all myth, they're all legend. And we
look at Stelly,
right?
Yeah,
and then finally, like the last point to it would be you have the inequality that the Tenryubito perceive themselves to be deities in a sense above the rest of humanity. They live on this holier than thou ground on the red line, and when they come down to the surface, they wear these spacesuits because they don't want to take in like commoner air and that kind of stuff. And that's because, again, from the creation of the world government itself, the creation of the world government itself is by definition found on the superiority of these 19 kingdoms.
19 kingdoms.
Yeah.
My suggestion is this whole thing is manufactured. All right, the world government isn't this retarded. All right, this whole thing is manufactured.
Okay,
that's my stance on that. All right, so moving on back to the chapter. All right.
Yeah.
So apparently Whitebeard funneled all his cash into this island. All right, and with the amount of cash Whitebeard would have funneled into this place, surely it would be a bustling metropolis. All right, we need some financial advice in this island.
It's like we see like two buildings.
Two buildings. Like, come on, Whitebeard, you either got no money or these people can't manage their own funds.
It might be I don't know how interested was Roger in gold. We don't really know. He's interested in family. He's not really interested.
Just a little
in
bit
money.
of a joke there, but point still stands.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a nice place.
If you're getting millions of berry into your island, surely you can turn that into profit.
Okay.
Right, yeah, but like, would they want a metropolis, or would it be better for them to have a nice, peaceful farmland?
Apparently they spent all the money.
Yeah, where's the money? They spent all of it.
I mean, to be fair, we don't see. I would assume that we're not seeing the entire island. I mean, all we see is the gate, as far as we know. Whatever's going on deeper in the island, I'm not too sure. But the thing is, like, when it comes to the finances, number one, we have no idea how much what the finances were, and then number two is that it could be kind of like one giant orphanage in a sense, where it's like, like it's there to mainly have food and supplies for the kids, so the kids can grow up fine, and so on and so forth, rather than let's build a mecca.
Now, about finances, do we know the finances of the Straw Hats? Are they poor again?
Let's not do this, all right? All right, this was a bit. Okay. All right? It wasn't a serious point.
I'm just saying they might need to go to Skype here again to get some money.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they might be out of cash.
I mean, Frankie's going to do all the work on the ship for free, so it doesn't really matter. So, Blackbeard invaded and triggered Marco and Co. to start the payback war.
Yeah.
And we all know how that went for the Whitebeard pirates. All right, not very well. They got dominated, apparently.
I was expecting to see some kind of marking on Marco, some kind of scars.
Here's the thing: if you cut Marco with Haki, all right, he can still regen.
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter.
So that's why he's so broken. Right. He's superior than Logan in the sense of if Logan gets damaged by Haki, then that wound is gonna stay and then it's gonna heal over time. Whereas Marco,
if you cut his head off, right? Yeah. If you cut his head off,
he regens.
He's dead with Haki.
No, he regens.
With
Haki.
I'm pretty sure.
Haki, does he regen or does he not?
No. Okay. This is my thoughts on the matter. If you hit him without Haki, no damage, right?
Yeah, obviously.
If you hit him with Haki, but you slice his arm clean off, that's not going to regen. I think it's a extremely good Wolverine factor when you cut him with Haki.
Okay.
Because it's still cutting the soul and the flesh.
Yeah.
But the flesh will heal over. But I'm not sure that... Because we see with Loki,
not necessarily the soul. Because as far as only people that can mess with soul, like Brooke and like Big Mom, are the people that can do soul stuff like that. Haki hits the real body.
Haki's the spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's done via
there's translations. Yeah. There's weird translations where it's like the soul, the spirit. It's it's not concrete. So. It hits the real body.
Anyway, enough about Marco. Right. We'll turn up in WANO later. We'll get to see it.
Alright, so... Yeah, so... The grave of Whitebeard is placed on this island. So it's not WANO.
Okay.
Alright, the main theory was the grave was in WANO. So... Incorrect. It's not there, it's here. Mm-hmm. Marco gets emotional thinking about Whitebeard and his kindness.
Yeah.
Whitebeard, very stingy man. Apparently, he stole everyone else's booze. He never paid the tab.
Right.
Apparently this was just to support this village. Very kind man. Alright, now we get some Weevil information. Weevil was after his inheritance. Marco states this place will probably be attacked soon. And it seems like Marco is not going to WANO. Alright, that's what it seems like.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Now, what is the purpose of this section if Marco is not going to go to WANO?
I think it's just to tell us what happened during the Payback War. Give us more information about the Payback War. I mean, we still get Nekomamushi in WANO. I mean, and the Weevil plotline, it seems like Weevil will turn up here now to fight Marco.
Now, Christian, we discussed about the Will of Twos. Now, King, we have this theory that everything that is shown... Two arcs before will be the next arc.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which holds up pretty well.
It kind of holds up.
Yeah.
Kind of doesn't, though.
Now...
Well, I mean, so far,
would be Weevil next after Wano.
Well, the thing,
is that exciting?
So
That's not exciting.
So like, the thing here is this though. When it comes to why we were here in the first place, we had to kind of be here from jump because Nekomamushi had already left to go and, find Marco. So if we didn't get any news on Marco and we just went to Wano, it'd be kind of weird because you think, Marco never showed up. What happened?
I imagine it's not like Oda changed his mind halfway through Zoro, being like, he might be in Wano, he might not be. This has purpose. It's either to like set up the Weevil fight with him.
Yeah, it probably is.
Or for him to some kind of circumstance come to Wano late, so he doesn't get involved in early game stuff.
I can imagine post Dark Wano, we get like a scene of Weevil turning up and a little clash, similar to the Whitebeard Ace situation.
What do we think the deal is with Weevil? Just brute strength? Does he have a fruit? Does he have an ability?
I would assume immense
strength.
There are theories out there that he has the some sort of bug fruit because of his name. Some sort of beetle fruit.
It'd be funny if he has
like a Hercules beetle or something of the sort. Because I remember something like that. When we first see him, there was like a galleon ship like in the middle of the city, just chilling there. Yeah. So he's the one that probably did that. And so
the Hercules beetle is already taken by a Tontara. So some sort of beetle. I don't know. The theory is some sort of beetle.
It'd be hilarious if he has like the weaker version of Whitebeard's fruit, like the vibration fruit or something.
The ripple fruit.
Yeah, something dumb.
No. Hell no. Because again, it's I know a lot of folks say like he's Whitebeard like in his prime, and the only thing I can grant him is physical strength, and that's really it.
Yeah.
I mean, physical strength, durability, like very high base stats, and that's really it. He's not smart in the slightest, as far as I can tell. And
apparently, right, bucking was around 40 years ago. We keep on getting this number.
Oh yeah, 40.
Or 40 years ago. 40 years ago this happened, 40 years ago that happened.
This is the thing with Marco. He says bucking was around as a pirate 40 years ago. He must have been on the same ship as Whitebeard. Was there like two ships in the world 40 years ago? Where everyone was on the
everyone's related, apparently. Yeah. The world is so small.
What if the Rocks had Big Mom Kato and Whitebeard?
Yeah, see, that's broken, bro. That is broken.
Plus the captain that could wrangle all those monsters in.
Yeah.
Who is this captain? Alright? We need to know him.
Shanks knows him.
Shanks knows who he is. Of course.
What if it's Shanks' father?
No.
What do you think about that dumb theory?
No. I disagree.
No?
I disagree. Vehemently.
Yeah.
I'd rather not Shanks' dad to the story. Just never. I'm okay with that. I don't need Shanks' dad. Shanks by himself is fine.
We don't need it. What if it's Luffy's mom?
No, please kill me. Too old.
Did you know that
too old.
Alright, every female character is Luffy's mom. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, of course.
He's on the deep forums.
Yeah. Every time there's a new female character, is this character Luffy's mom? And the answer is always no. Alright? I can give you that answer.
Bro, I hate
it. Hey, just a quick sidebar.
Fucking kids.
Parents in One Piece are irrelevant to the story and antithetical to the story. So, like, they shouldn't hold any weight in people's minds.
Oda said in an interview, mothers are the opposite of adventure.
Yeah.
So...
And it's like, people reading Naruto too much, reading into, like, parentage and lineage. Alright, relax.
See, this is the whole problem with the community. They're taking things from other series and putting it on One Piece. Alright, don't do that. Alright?
Yeah, people do that a lot.
Like, stop. Like, you can't use an example from another series and put it onto One Piece.
Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes you can, of course, but not all the time. People do it for like almost.
Okay. Yeah. Marco states his place will be attacked soon. Doesn't seem like he's going to Wano. Marco has a message for Luffy. What is that message? Who knows? All right. So now
is the message like? Hang on. Is the message like? The poneglyph is in this direction. Go find the last one.
It's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility.
We need to find this last poneglyph, Christian. Where is it? Who has information on
it? I think it's on Albath.
Does Shanks have it?
We need to go to Albath.
Okay.
That's what I think it is. What do you reckon, King? What do you think the
last one is? I've been saying Albath for like ever since it was announced. Like, I'm pretty sure it's on Albath. Because I'm pretty sure the royalty of Albath have it. It's probably on top of the giant. I would assume
Urasil?
Yeah, the Urasil, the giant jag, whatever you want to call it, or because it could be like another beanstalk that we see in Skypiea. It could be something similar to that, or it could be Urasil. Yeah, but I think it's Urasil.
Yeah, I think because we've already done a beanstalk. Would Oda do that again?
Yeah, he could.
I think it's Yggdrasil. Alright, yeah. So, it's time, alright? We've been waiting for this for 4 years. Oda said this arc is going to be the most amazing thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Alright? Wano, the arc that will save One Piece, make it great again, all these kinds of outlandish statements.
Yeah.
Wano, apparently, is going to be the greatest arc in shonen history, according to the hype. Alright? So... Alright, curtains open. We got cherry blossoms. Someone playing the shamisen. Is that how you pronounce it?
How you pronounce
it? Shamisen.
Shamisen. I don't know. I'm not Japanese. So, alright. So the curtains open. We get this beautiful double page spread of Wano country. Alright. Crescent moon tree with a castle on top of it. Waterfalls coming out of this tree. Yeah. How does this work? Is it man-made?
Christian, this is One Piece. It's a magical tree
that spits water out of the sides.
Now, what are the chances, right, that there's a poneglyph in this tree?
We've already got one from the samurai.
No. Minks and samurai are related in some way.
But Kaido has one. There's already one on Wano. Why would there be two on Wano?
Yeah.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
We're wrapping up the story. We're getting things done.
We're gonna go to Albath for a reason, and I'm pretty sure it's there.
All
right. We see a giant mountain in the back.
Yeah.
Mount Fuji probably.
You want to call them out? It's so weird. What
is it?
Like
what's
the
what's the percentage of
way too high, bro? Like
is the purpose of that man being there so Zoro can cut it? Is that the purpose?
Yeah, that's probably the purpose. What? So Zoro can cut the mountain.
Of course.
Of course. Alright, so we get to see this mountain. This might be the cold region where we saw Kaido.
Yeah.
No,
could be.
No. Dude, the steeps are way too high. They're just way too high.
Yeah, I'm getting to it, right? So, although the island is... But we see Kaido's island, and it's a giant mountain with horns on it.
Yeah.
So this Wano place is not Kaido's island.
Or Kaido's
because we can't see the giant horned mountain. But the theory that Wano is split up into 4 islands representing the 4 seasons is still on.
Okay.
With this island being the Spring Island.
Okay.
Because the island doesn't seem that big, and you'll need like a battlefield, and I think
it's a good battlefield just because it's in a valley.
I can't see the battlefield being a city.
Yeah.
Because then you've got like all these obscuring buildings and shit.
The island stuff can still be fairly big, just it has one main city. Because for example, like Dressrosa was one main city, but it was a massive city because you had an entire mountain range surrounding the entire island itself. And then in this case, when you look at Wano Kuni, there's these mountains in the background on the same island. So this could be like the main island where like the Shogun lives. But there could be like other, because like I would assume that there'd be islands that are not only seasonal but also have certain factions that are like the main factions. Yeah. So like
on the Winter Islands, Kaido.
Right.
On the Spring Islands,
there'll be a Summer Island, and like let's say like the Summer Island would be or maybe a different one. I'm not too sure. But whatever this one is,
Jack is a drought, so he could be on the Summer Island or whatever the fuck.
Is this one the fall one? Because the cherry blossoms, like when do cherry blossoms bloom in Japan? Spring. Okay, so it's a spring then.
So it's the Spring Island.
Yes, it's the Spring Island. Then let's say the fall island could the fall island could be, let's say, where all the shinobi are, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have
You hung up on this shinobi thing so Sanji can have a fight.
No. Well, we have shinobi there. Like we know that. Shinobi
we have
exists.
one.
We have one
ninja.
Yeah, one ninja. Right. Yeah, but then if there's gonna be a training ground for ninjas to do their thing in, would it be this bustling city where the Shogun lives? I mean,
no.
Right. Yeah.
King, we here debate Rise's ability, and if it's ninjutsu or a devil fruit. What is your thoughts? Does he have the clone fruit, or is it ninjutsu?
I would say that there could be possibility that it is like an actual base power of ninjutsu. It could be something similar to that, but it's hockey oriented rather than.
I mean, we have like techniques from like CP, so it's not.
Yeah, but that's got to do with the human body. It's not magic. Like,
I mean,
Rokishi's not magic. You know what I mean? It's like air pressure cannons and training the body.
He does use like smoke bombs and shit, so it could just be like tech as well. We don't.
Exactly. Yeah, like it could all be explained via those methods, but not necessarily.
Because Kinemon and Kanjuro call devil fruits magic.
Yeah.
So that could be some sort of connection there.
Okay.
Because they don't really know what devil fruits are.
Yeah, because he has a transmission ability where he can turn things like he can turn a
rocks into clothes. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They call that magic, so they don't necessarily understand
devil fruits,
which is weird. All right, the mountain in the back, all that stuff. We finally get to see Frankie again. Welcome back, Frankie. We love you here. I don't know about King. King's not that much of a fan of Frankie.
No.
But
I like when Frankie was the scumbag, when he was Ric Flair, when he did low blows, and no one.
King. I've got to enlighten you on a fact. Frankie always been stupid, all right?
No, but that's not my issue.
Backwards centaur.
That's not my issue. my issue is that Frankie of pre-time skip never really had an issue of doing the scumbag stuff, and now Frankie is predominantly like, I am cyborg, I am robot, touch nose, hair change. Oh my god! And it's like, okay, that's his predominant character trait gag now. That's my issue. It's like Frankie was filthy previously. Like
I think
Centauros,
Frankie has like,
I'm gonna pin you down. I'm gonna beat you down. Like, I'm Frankie. I'm dirty. No. Now it's
I think with the other Straw Hats, we're gonna see massive growth this arc.
Robin, every character in this arc needs growth. Now, predominantly, the character that needs the most growth is Zoro, because Zoro,
definitely,
I would say among all the character casts, Zoro's lagging behind. I think he's back there with Frankie, honestly. So, I mean, like, Zoro needs love, and this should be the time where Zoro gets his love, which is about.
He doesn't need to be deep. I don't know if every character needs to be like.
See, the thing with
this emotional background.
The thing with Zoro's character is it's extremely subtle. There's like small panels of him doing little things that all add up.
Yeah.
It's not. He never gets like the big character moment.
He's stoic and cool and there for hype.
Yeah, and he's more softer kind of moments are like tiny panels that you don't really pay attention to. So Frankie's back. He's a carpenter. He's with that guy from Volume 7.
Yep.
SBS. That was a cool
I've just been playing this arc for a very long time.
Yeah, Volume 7.
Very long time. It should be fantastic because he's had 20 years to plan it. All right. He wanted to do this arc for so long. So I like how no one notices a giant cyborg.
Yeah.
And that since he has Wano clothes on, therefore he's a Wano citizen.
No, what are you talking about? He's got a metal nose, mate. What do you mean?
He's a giant robot. No one notices that.
Yeah. He is not a giant robot. I mean, he is.
He's pretty
have you seen his body shape and arms? I think it's pretty obvious.
Have you seen his legs with the braces?
It could be his workout regimen, bro.
Could be wearing weighted clothes. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Could just paint his nose silver, you know.
King,
plus he's a carpenter. Like, he's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I just think he'll be found out easier than the other ones. You know what I mean? Because of his weird shape. So then we go to Usopp, literally a snake oil or toad oil salesman.
Yeah. Snake oil, yeah.
You know, some people out there actually think that the toad oil is magic. It's clearly a trick. This is what Usopp does, and it's an homage to snake oil. Yeah. So I don't know.
Now, we assume that Usopp's going to get run out of town next chapter, yes?
That would be pretty funny if he gets caught out.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
To increase conflict in Wano.
Alright, so after Usopp, we get Orobi.
Yeah.
Everyone's new favourite character. King's top female character in the One Piece verse.
For a goddamn good reason.
Alright.
Check out that video on his channel, ladies and gentlemen.
It gets weird, alright? Especially Dritz, alright? It gets weird.
It gets weird because Sunpatch is there, and everyone's on edge.
Everyone's on edge, bro.
Everyone's trying to justify their...
Everyone's like, oh shit, I can't be sexist. Oh, fuck.
Dritz is sweating bullets, being like, I don't want to repeat.
I don't want to repeat of the reverie. But
no, Orobi, I think, yes, the top best girl in One Piece, and Orobi just looking so fantastic.
Now, all we need from Orobi is a fight.
Yes, give us a Robin fight. Give us every Straw Hat needs a fight.
Every character among the Strat crew has to have a fight, especially if Wano Kuni is as big as folks theorize, where it's several islands. There should be a fight for every character.
Before the true end game of One Piece, we need to know how strong every main character is. Otherwise, we're going to get to the final war and not know.
I agree that it needs to happen, but logistically, it's impossible.
This arc is going to be 300 chapters.
No. This will be long as One Piece.
All right.
All right.
don't even think about.
Do you understand how long 300 chapters is? That's like 6 years.
All right, 200 chapters is more realistic.
No,
because
that's
look,
like
okay,
still 6 years.
How long was Just Russell? Just Russell was about
100.
100.
100 chapters.
100 chapters.
Yeah, 100 chapters. Yeah, this is going to be. I'm not saying 300 chapters. No,
200.
But I think that at least 150 chapters, bare minimum.
This is the thing with this, Royce.
Because
It's got
the thing about it is that, like,
cut.
what? Because here's the thing, you have characters that are finally now gonna showcase their stuff. Like Kid, I'm assuming he's gonna be doing some stuff.
I mean,
Drake is there too. Apu, he is a part of Kaido's clique now, so he should do some things too. So we should see. I mean, if you want to have characters fight each other that are noteworthy, then you have scenes like, okay, well, let's have Drake and Zoro scrap it out for like a few chapters or a chapter and see what we can get
chapters.
There. Okay,
I think it's gonna be like
not like Kyrie and Luffy, but you know what I mean. Like just have like Zoro and Drake just scrap it out and see where we can gauge that. Or
I think majority of like minor fights are going to be like Whitebeard versus Al-Qaeda in the manga, like 2 pages. That's what it's going to be.
I mean,
like you're going to get minor fights,
not, honestly, because like those clashes, which in the Marineford War, and everything was so condensed, and that's what we all got, which is fine. But in this case, he has time now. All right, like this
I'm just setting expectations. All right,
this arc should not end until like 2022. Straight up.
I'm just setting expectations.
It'll be an error, all right? It'll be an error.
I'm setting expectations here right now, all right? We assumed Sanji would get a fight in Whole Cake Island. That didn't pan out.
Let's not talk about that, all right? Let's not talk about that.
So relax on the everyone's getting a fight because I don't think.
Yeah, no, but
everyone's getting a fight.
Yeah, but
Whole Cake Island
is completely different from a strategic standpoint than Wano. In Wano, they're building forces to fight. In Whole Cake, they snuck in.
Exactly. King knows why Whole Cake Island is a good arc, and we'll get into it in the topic of the show.
Yeah. Later on.
Because I have a bone to pick with half the community that doesn't understand Whole Cake Island. But we'll get into it.
Alright, cool.
Alright, so, Robin is training to be a geisha. She's already trying to infiltrate.
Yeah.
I love that. Robin already making moves.
Now, should I throw out my Sanji theory here?
No, do not. I don't want to hear that Sanji theory with King here, because it'll just upset him, alright? We don't want to upset the king.
Okay.
Alright? With this nonsense Sanji theory. Because it's disgusting. Alright?
I can actually kind of tell where you're going with this, and automatically, like, nah, bro.
King, he will be a geisha.
No, he won't be a geisha.
And he will infiltrate the Shogun's room.
That's madness.
With Robin.
No, he will not.
This is what I have to deal with, right?
No, not, bro.
You can see it happen, though. You can see it happen.
No, I can't. I definitely
You can. You can. You knew where I was going.
2 years with the Okama.
Absolute madness. I mean,
maybe he's picked up some skills.
Maybe he's got some dancing skills from the Okama.
Maybe he picked up some skills from Reiju.
Listen. I'm pretty sure Sanji can break dance like a beast, but he's not gonna be a geisha. That ain't happening.
Maybe he'll go into his feminine side again.
No.
King. Maybe he picked up some skills from his sister, if you know what I mean.
No.
If you know what I mean.
No.
All right, let's move on from this Sanji bashing. All right, I'm not gonna tolerate Sanji bashing on my show. All right,
don't be surprised if it happens.
If it happens, you won't see me for a few months. So no.
Sanji copping all the King. Do you have a problem with Sanji showing his feminine side? Like, why is it so offensive?
I have a problem with Sanji being a gay. We're well beyond that.
Is it a hype thing, or is it just you don't want to see it?
No, because right now we already have somebody infiltrating as a geisha. That's Robin. Yeah. Robin is the best suited one for this, especially seeing her A abilities and beat fast.
But Sanji always plays the spying arcs.
And then, like I said before, I don't think that when Luffy and company arrive, they're going to be landing on this island. I think they're going to be landing on other islands, and they're going to split up again, like they normally do. Yeah. And I'm almost positive that when it comes to Sanji, there's going to be some ninja shit going on.
I can see that.
100%.
I mean, Sanji's always the assassin stealth guy. I mean, him going with the ninjas makes sense.
Too, but his previous name was supposed to be Naruto. You're telling me Oda's not thinking about this? Of course he's thinking about it.
We know he loves Naruto. Right? Oda does love Naruto. Will he do it? He probably will. So I don't know about this geisha theory. It's headcanon at best. Right?
Nami could probably be a geisha or whatever.
When it happens, I'll throw this out.
Nami's more of a street. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right? Robin's the high class, all right?
Yeah, you know, he's right. He's right. Well, what am I talking about? Yeah, of course. Yeah. There you go.
Alright, so Robin already doing him work. I love that. I love to see it. You know, she has her own goals.
Importance of the old woman character.
The old woman that's training her, I don't know. Probably just a throwaway character.
Okay.
Do you think Robin plus Brooke infiltration mission? We saw Brooke get the poneglyph in Whole Island. Will he do the same role in Wano?
I'm happy for that to happen.
Bit of Robin and Brooke action?
A little bit too redundant, but maybe.
Maybe Robin needs some backup.
I just don't think it ought to be that redundant. I feel like
it could be some kind of spirit thing as well, where like everyone's afraid of him because he's this god spirit and like Japanese myth and shit.
And he's like that. He's a musician as well, so that could play into it. I don't know. Interesting things.
I feel like if anything, it'd probably be the Minks on their side, or like Kinemon or Kanjiro. Mainly Kanjiro. They'd be the ones that get the rope on like rubbing for Luffy.
I think it's Robin. I think Robin will do it.
Robin?
And she'll run into like some tough enemy to get the poneglyph, and there'll be a fight there. Maybe she won't be directly involved in the war. She'll have her own fight off to the side for an important job. Because I think we need Kinemon and those kind of troops to be in the major battle. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
okay.
Yeah, we get introduced to the Shogun, Kurozami Orochi.
Yeah.
Right. Have you played the game Okabe?
I did, but I never completed the game.
Alright, everyone knows the main boss of the game is Orochi.
Yes.
A 8-headed dragon with 8 tails. Go play this game. You'll get a lot about traditional Japanese myth. It's like a 40-hour game. It's massive.
I believe it wasn't Neo too, at the end of the game.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty famous Japanese legend.
Let the Delver speculation run wild. What abilities does this man have?
No, I think it's more
is he
symbolic.
8 style swords?
He doesn't have 8 sword style, alright?
Yeah, just 8 swords.
He's not the guy from Naruto, alright?
He's not Oniguma.
Oniguma has magical hair, alright?
No, he doesn't. He
doesn't have the
CP0 skills, so...
Yeah. Alright, so Orochi, evil 8-headed dragon with 8 tails. There's a legendary sword in one of the tails, according to Japanese myth, the Kushigagi.
Okay.
Alright, so the myth of this sword is the man, Susanoo, was the one to slay Orochi. Mm. He found the sword, and he offered the sword to the god Orochi Amaterasu to settle an old grievance. So my theory is Zoro is going to defeat the Shogun, and this will allow Zoro to keep Shushui.
Okay.
To settle an old grievance.
Okay.
So he'll do something great for Wano, and they'll allow him to keep the sword. That's my theory.
That sword or both swords? We get both swords.
No, he'll. I think the
legendary sword.
The sword is more of a metaphor. It's not really like because the sword in Japanese myth is like it's not a combat sword. It's a symbolic sword.
Yeah.
It translates to like the grass cutter.
Yeah.
Because it's such a useless sword.
Okay.
So I think it's more of a symbolic thing where Zoro will do a great deed and be allowed to keep his legendary sword.
Okay.
Right.
Or his great sword.
But also keep in mind Zoro's master, who may actually come during this arc. I'm not too sure.
That's true.
Yeah. But
where that fits
the whole
in,
notion of being able to cut through not even grass, but also cut through everything too. It's also a concept. Yeah. So it's like the sword itself may be useless, but in the right hands, could be like one of the ultimate weapons or something.
What sword would he get rid of though? His curse sword. Can't get rid of Shui.
No, he'll put if he gets a new sword, he'll put Shui to rest.
Okay.
As a sign of respect to the Wano people. That's probably the sword he's gonna get rid of. Mm. So Kinemon tells them to wait for reinforcements and to blend in for the time being. How big is the rebel army in Wano?
Probably not that big because he needs to rally the troops.
That's interesting because that kind of throws the balance off a little bit because in my mind I thought Kinemon had a little more support in Wano. Is the Kazuki clan ravaged to the point where Momonosuke, Kinemon, Kanjuro, and
I'm just gonna assume like important generals are on his side that have relevant strength. We don't need like 1 billion people.
We need fodder, and who's gonna play that role?
We got Minks. We got
we got Minks. That's all we got.
We got Nami shoot lightning across the battlefield. She takes out fodder all the time.
Nami.
Here's what I would guess. I would guess that there are a lot of people that are in Wano Kuni that sympathize deeply with the Kozuki clan, but they haven't been able to say anything because of their fear for Kaido and the Shogun's power. But if they can rally the troops, then you get one person going, and they get two, then two becomes four, and so on and so forth.
I will add that the official translation more slightly suggests that Orochi might be the theory that he's like an inept ruler, like he's not very good general, because it says he's arrogant and
I think it's that
corrupt.
I think it's more that he's oppressive and a bad ruler. But not that he's inept. Like he's an oppressive ruler.
Yeah. It says that he's arrogant and corrupt, which usually goes along with that kind of character trait. So
but Kinemon, the enemy, is saying that.
Yeah.
So who knows if it's true?
Okay.
Alright, we get introduced to a street murderer. Alright? Who would have thought? Who would have guessed that the street murderer is Zoro? Like, come on, we all knew this was happening. Did we expect it to happen this soon? To Zoro breaking the cover?
Okay.
So, we get more details of what happened 23 years ago with Ryuma's grave and the sword. Interesting little note that the magistrate throws in, that you're not the original thief. This might be like Moria wasn't the original thief.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is because it was 23 years ago. Because the timeline, how many years of Brook's soul was taken, or shadow? It was like 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So, Ryuma was reanimated 7 years ago. So there's a stretch of time where they have his body, but they're not using it.
Okay.
And was Hogback part of his crew all the way back then? A lot of theory, a lot of questions about the timeline. Is Moria the original thief? Who knows? Alright, so...
I mean, who else would steal a corpse?
Yeah, like, who else? Yeah,
like, why would you steal the corpse? Just steal the sword.
Right.
It's probably for Yurimi. It's probably for, like, Moria to be like, he's a strong dude, I'll steal his corpse.
But, like, they may have had the situation where, like, they've had several swordsmen inside of the body, but they were not powerful enough, or they weren't worthy enough. Or some of the sword. Yeah. But it was Brook's sword, so that actually was... Or no, it was Brook's shadow. I said so.
You subscribe, it was a shadow
that was actually...
Do you subscribe to, like, the idea that Zoro didn't actually beat Ryuma, he beat Brook? Because of the shadow thing?
Yeah.
Do you subscribe
to
that
idea? Okay, no, I think he beat an enhanced version of Brook. Because here's the thing. Okay, he's using Brook's attacks through and through, but the attacks... Yeah. Like, Brook knew every attack that he was doing, but he couldn't... Like, for example, the flying version of that, he couldn't use because he needed actual muscle mass for that, and Brook, he's bones, he can't do that. So, I think that, like, he beat an enhanced version of Brook. That's what it was.
Okay.
So, the thing with Moria's shadows is, they don't really make sense. Because when we're first introduced to them, it's the personality of the shadow.
Yeah.
But then later on in the arc, it's like, yeah, but they can take on the original owner's personality as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a fusion. Okay. It's really... The Moria shadows need to be explained more clearly. Because Thriller Bark, it's all over the shop.
Okay.
So, Shushui is already in play from day one.
Here we
are. We all knew this was going to happen, and it's here day one.
Oh, just getting it out of the way. No time to muck around.
We gotta go fast, alright? We gotta go fast, because we got a lot of fights to get through.
Alright.
Odin knows that the fans want fights. It's been so long since a fight arc that we need it. Alright?
For the other cast characters, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Luffy's the only one who showcased what he can do.
Yeah.
So, we need an NES Lobby style battle arc. That's what we need.
I agree.
So, Zoro is about to commit suicide. He figures out who the murderer is with the scent of blood. Some Zoro fanboys want to say this is observation haki. I just think it's, classic Zoro throwaway line. Do I think it's observation haki? No.
I know, Zoro kind of has this, like, blood murderer animal thing going on.
He's got the bloodlust kind of thing that's going on with One Piece.
Yeah.
Alright.
What do you reckon, King? You reckon it's observation haki?
I mean, I think it's a possibility, but at the same time, I highly doubt it because we've never seen Kimbutsu Haki to be able to enhance. Like, we know they can enhance sight, and it kind of does tie with sight, but smell?
We see with Sanji, like, he can smell the ingredients.
Yeah, like, Sanji can hear, like, tears of women crying, like, you know, like a ways away. But at the same time, now we're adding the smell component to it. It's like I don't know about that. Like so what? Like Usopp sight, Sanji hearing, Zoro now smell. So then what's Luffy? I mean, like taste. Like
his feelings, King. His feelings.
Everything. Luffy is everything because he's the main character and he gets everything.
All right.
Well, he trained under Ray Lee, so I think that's the main thing there. But
the Dark King.
But he's
the Dark King.
The Dark King. Ooh.
All right. So Zoro then goes and cuts the magistrate and the building with a tiny knife. The whole community is singing his name. Zolo is back. He's back. All right, that's all I have to say for
now,
that.
Christian, the feat in itself isn't that great.
Is that impressive?
In right? comparison to the rest of the story and what we've seen, we would accept this feat, but we know it's been a long time since we've seen the Zoro hype, and here we are.
People are saying that this single feat is greater than Sanji's collection of feats in Whole Cake Island.
God's dumb. That's to me. I think that's just the definition. That is fanboyism 101.
Sanji picking up chiffon, kicking oven.
Speed,
impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive.
Like to me, because like this is something that, and actually I pre-recorded a video for this too. This is like the notion of you have people that have, I think, this DBZ mentality all the time, and for them, destroying stuff is more impressive than being able to take damage or being able to, like, speed blitz or being able to have broken abilities. It's like so what Zoro's doing here is classic Zoro. So he cut the stairs, the fodder dude, and then he cut the top of the house. Okay, that was it. And now it's impressive because he did it with a seppuku blade, but at the same time, we've seen Zoro with his usual swords cut through a galleon ship. So it's like, okay, so
the feat itself isn't impressive. This is the thing that's so hard.
No, it's just cool.
But it's hype.
It's hype. It's hype.
It's hype. Yeah, you have the chick in the background playing the music. Like imagine the anime. Like you have in anime, the instruments going off. It's like it's picking up its speed, and then you have the swinging, and then all of a sudden it's like the Trabosum going through. Like the whole thing is a massive hype piece for Zoro, definitely.
This panel illustrates the plight of the Sanji people out there.
We just want to see him do something extremely cool. All right?
Sanji gets tiny panels of action, right? Very tiny.
I know.
Very small.
Disappointing.
Zoro gets half a page of a slice. I mean, it's the priority of Oda perpetuating Zoro's hype. That's the issue. Rather than
Zoro's always like the second most popular character in One Piece. I mean,
and he's a hype man of the crew, so he might as well be.
Pretty much. But I mean, like I think Sanji got some very good panels overall.
Right. Yeah, he did. He got some very good feats.
Yeah, like again, but like for me, it's like when I see this, like the first thing when I saw this, I'm like, this is stupid because like I thought about what Kingoflightning said previously, and here he is. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous, bro.
Well, what was he gonna do? Cool. Kill himself? Like, what do you want?
Well, again, the notion is that when you're first reading it and you think what Kingoflightning said, and then you see what Zoro does, like this is like we're starting with major hype off the gate for Wano, and now Zoro's gonna be on the run, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like this is dumb. This is classic.
We'll get into predictions in a minute.
Classic Zoro.
I just want to talk about the art. I just want to talk about the art for a second. All right, we're going back in time with his art.
Yes.
Early One Piece style is present. Very round, very cylindrical, tube-like.
You see this especially with Usopp's design.
Yes.
His nose is going back to more of the original nose.
Yeah.
It's not a straight like cylinder anymore. It's got a little bit of details coming off the face. You can see with his hands that they're like more bubbly.
Yeah, I'll explain the major.
Well, because I think that was because of the oil that he was putting. So it goes.
Well, I'll give you an example of the art style, right, King? Like after the time skip, all the edges of the characters become harder and sharper. What we've seen this arc so far is the edges become rounded, which gives a more Disney-esque feel. Cool. That's the comment on the art. Also, very good Wano page. Very nice.
The art in Wano is fantastic.
Yeah.
The art before that, a little bit sketchy, Oda.
Yeah.
A little bit sketchy.
Marco not looking too good.
Nekarushi not looking that good either. He clearly spent all the time on Wano. during it.
So it's one chapter. We'll see how that progresses. Now, Christian, let's rate the chapter first.
Oh, this is a hard rating
Out of
because
10.
I've been giving 10 out of 10s for 6 weeks.
We gave
well, that's what wait 6 weeks. I mean, okay, fair enough, but the
entire reverie, it's just non-stop. It's just non-stop. King, I get very excited.
You must be a Rev fanboy. Right. You must be a Rev fanboy.
I love Reverie.
Yeah,
right?
Is
it an
arc?
I haven't been dropping 10s unless Shanks is in it.
Is Reverie an arc? No. All right, it's post-arc at this point in time.
It's what?
Because there's no
cake?
Yeah, because there's no story structure.
There's no arc.
There's no arc.
There's no story arc. Therefore, it's not an arc.
It's just events happening. There's no like overarching plot. It's not really an arc. If it doesn't continue after this, it's not an arc. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Like, there's no story there. There's no what plot is
but
there?
like that's such a downer because in the sense of the Reverie is something that I think most folks a lot of folks were expecting Reverie, and Reverie for the overall sake of the story has, as far as I can tell, way more weight, the most weight among all the chapters probably that we've seen One Piece.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And here we are, only 6 chapters, that's it.
I agree, but we know that Shueisha hates it when the main characters are not in the show.
Right.
All right? And they don't want a Magi situation. They don't want it.
Yeah, I said before too, right? Yeah, which is like the Magi thing
Japanese...
could be the main reason why, yeah.
Is that why Magi died?
Yeah, because there's an arc where the main characters weren't in it.
They weren't there for like, I forgot how many months it was, but it was an arc where they deviate from the main characters to go into a deep flashback, which is very important stuff, but people start playing with the main characters, where's the main characters, and then lo and behold.
If you don't want to give your rating because you want to save it for your own video, that's fine. But Christian,
I think it's
we know King doesn't do a review. What are you talking about?
Well, no. I have reviews planned, but again, this week has been a little bit hectic considering I'm traveling tomorrow morning. So
King gives it a 7, Christian.
Story, all right. Let's break it down. We get more detail on Marco and Whitebeard. Very important to the backstory. Very important to the backstory of the world, of what happened during the Payback War. Would have liked to see a little bit more of that. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of a flashback with the battle. Maybe that's asking for too much. So, that was very good. Marco not turning up might be a little bit of a downer for some people. Alright, so Wano stuff. It was fantastic. It's a reintroduction of the characters that we haven't seen for a long time. So it's not really pushing the story forward. There's no character development. The art is so good. I don't know. I want to give it an 8 because the Reverie deserves the 10s.
Yep.
And this, I can't give it a 10 because of the Reverie.
It's good to get some structure back in the story now. We know where we're going and we can kind of guess what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I think it's an 8.
The last 6 weeks were like, what the fuck's happening? We don't have any idea. What is this?
It's hype. Reverie's hype as fuck. We get so many cool hints. A lot of world building that I love. So that's why those 10 out of 10s. This week, not that much happened. To be honest, it was a reintroduction.
It's hype. It's beautiful. We're getting excited about Wano. 8 out of 10. All right. Predictions from you, Christian, quickly for next week.
Predictions for next week. Will we go back to Reverie? Will we not go back to Reverie? That's the question. And I have no idea.
Yeah.
If we don't, a little bit of maybe we go see Luffy and him arriving.
Okay.
That's my predictions.
King, predictions quickly.
I think we're going to stick with Wano and try and find out more about what happened to Zoro, about them assimilating. I think we're getting more of a flashback from this point of Wano for maybe like a week or two. And then we're probably going to go back to real time. And then from that real time, go back to Reverie for maybe a few chapters. And then go back to Wano once Luffy and Sanji company arrive.
Okay.
I think that's a possibility.
That's a possibility. For me, it's just going to be Luffy arriving and them dealing with the conflict that Zoro started. That's pretty much what I think is going to happen. I think the Reverie's dead at this point. We'll get it after Wano.
It's post Wano.
Yeah.
Oh, it's years. We have to wait.
Yeah, but you're going to think about that hat for years and years and years, Christian. That hat was theory bait. That hat was theory bait put there by Oda on purpose. So.
It was definitely theory bait and it worked. Alright, so
next segment, Christian?
Next segment is How Strong is Shanks? How strong is Shanks? Alright. Every week, we come to you with the question, how strong is Shanks? And every week, we answer the question. Shanks is the strongest. Shanks is the God King. But there are people out there who think Kaido's the strongest. They think Dragon's the strongest.
Please.
They think Aimu is the strongest. No. And they ain't correct. And every week, I bring 100% factual evidence to the table to prove these naysayers wrong. This week's evidence, Shanks is so strong that even though WANO started, people are so hyped about him talking to the Gorosei, they want to go back to Reverie.
Yes.
That's how strong Shanks is.
Absolutely. Without question.
Shanks is the God King. To the topic of the show.
Next topic.
Now, gentlemen, let's keep this brief.
Alright, we got a lot to get through here.
So let's speed through this. Get your points out. Get some counterpoints out.
Topic of the show is Whole Cake Island misunderstood? Alright. The general gist of this is people do not understand the structure of Whole Cake Island.
Yes.
They think it's a regular arc that Oda just fucked up. I have evidence that this arc is indeed a tragedy.
Okay.
Alright? It's got the classic structure of a tragedy.
Yep.
Tragedy, it's a type of play focusing on human suffering for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
And it relies on that paradox to create emotions. So, if you look into a tragedy play, the human-based drama on suffering evokes pleasure in the audience. The structure of a tragedy is important to understand what happens in Whole Cake Island.
Okay.
Alright, let's get into the structure of it. The exposition. Exposition, the part of the story where everything is set up. You get the scenario is explained, set up the backstory, set up the complication. So these sections are Luffy in the woods, Luffy versus Cracker, Luffy versus Sanji, Sanji being captured, Sanji's heart being broken by Pudding.
Okay.
Next piece of the structure is the rising action. A series of events building towards the greatest point of climax. The rising action of a story in a series, events begin immediately after the exposition of the story and build up to the climax. These events are generally the most important parts of the story, since the entire plot depends on them to build up to the climax for that to be satisfactory.
Yes.
So these events are Luffy breaking out of the prison book, Sanji realizing what he'd done, Luffy and Sanji reuniting, Capone's plan, the wedding, the cake falling. Alright. The climax. The climax is the turning point which changes the protagonist's fate. If the story is a comedy and things are going badly for the protagonist, it'll flip. So if things are going bad, they'll go good. But if it's a tragedy, the opposite will happen. So if, for example, right, Whole Cake Island, we're at the wedding, we're escaping, everything's going well.
Yeah.
Then everything starts to go to shit.
Okay.
So this is when, and it emphasizes the weakness of the protagonist.
Yeah.
So this is where the tragedy really starts to happen for Sanji. So Sanji wanted to save his family from Big Mom and cook the cake for her, which is his overarching theme of kindness, right? Yeah. That's Sanji's theme. Alright? But it gets his friends into danger and it kills Pedro, effectively. Yeah. So this is the turning point in the story where we get the sense of the tragedy.
And the point of this part is to
accentuate the weakness, the hidden weakness of the character.
Yeah.
So they can grow later on. Alright. After the climax is important to understand the chase scene. It's called the falling action. During the falling action, the conflict between the protagonist and the antagonist unravels. The protagonist winning or losing with the antagonist. The falling action may contain moments of final suspense to give the crowd entertainment.
Yeah.
So these final events are the whole chase scene with the Sunny being destroyed at the end being the final moment of suspense.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed. Luffy versus Katakuri, the outcome of the fight is not shown to also give this final moment of suspense concept seen in a tragedy. Alright. So after the falling action,
Next page of notes.
you get the this is a French word.
Go on.
Denouement.
Okay.
Comprises the event of the falling action to the actual ending scene of the drama or narrative. Conflicts are resolved, creating normality for the characters and a sense of catharsis to relieve the anxiety of the reader.
Yep.
The tragedy ends with a catastrophe in which a protagonist is worse off at the beginning of the narrative.
Okay.
Germa and Jinbei's lives are still in danger. Pedro is dead. The ship is heavily damaged. Although the Straw Hats do come away with something.
Yeah.
Right? They get the poneglyph. They get the recognition. For Sanji, he does not gain much. He left his love in Whole Cake Island. Pedro is dead because of him. His family did not escape Big Mom. And Jinbei is still trapped in the situation.
Yeah.
This is all for Sanji's character to grow. And we already somewhat see this when he realizes Pedro is dead. So in conclusions, Whole Cake Island follows the structure closely, but of course Oda changes things and adds his own little twist.
Yeah.
The arc is even complete with musical numbers,
Yeah.
seen in tragedy plays.
Okay.
It's even complete with those. The Disney comparison is only aesthetic, and is an incorrect comparison to make. The correct comparison is a tragedy comparison. People who don't understand the structure think that there was no point to the arc, and that the arc makes no sense. These are the reasons why the arc is a great arc, and it has the structure to be a great arc. It's something different Oda is trying.
Yeah.
He's never done this structure before, and this is how to understand Whole Cake Island.
Now, Christian, do you expect every One Piece reader to study media and film?
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to commentate on why an arc is bad, at least understand the concepts of media.
Okay.
Alright.
I mean,
Thoughts on this concept?
I think this was actually, because you did do, of course, a lot of research on this, and, you know, like the actual breakdown of the arc as a tragedy as a whole, I thought was fairly well done. Though I do have some points of contention. I think the main thing here is that, yeah, like I was going to just say what Eric said. It's like a lot of folks aren't going to really be able to break it down in these notions of how you have the rising action, the falling action, the climax.
I think Christian's taking a ping at YouTubers.
I'm just upset that people don't understand the arc because they're not looking at it through the right lens.
For me, you can kind of break it down because for me, I've always simplified it when it comes to kind of ratings in three just major categories. So just like keeping it simple. For me, what does the arc do for the story? What does the arc do for the characters? And then how is the arc paced and matched throughout its entirety? And I think folks briefly, I think folks kind of have issues mainly with the pacing of the arc, in particular when it comes to the falling action, when it comes to the retreat, because Big Mom, someone who was a terrifying beast for, I forgot how many chapters it was. I think it was like 25 some odd. Maybe I don't know. I forgot how many chapters it was, but for at least like 15 chapters, was chasing, and still could not get her hands on them. And when she was even on the ship, there is a way for them to escape, though the ship did get damaged. So the pacing, I think, is what people have issues with, mainly with the falling action of the arc.
And just because it's like structured around technical theater, doesn't necessarily mean that people need to like it.
Well, that's the problem. People want to say it's bad writing.
Yeah.
Alright, but they don't understand what Oda was doing. So is that a fair complaint to say it's bad writing when they don't understand the structure and the point of the arc? That's my contention.
It depends on what they think is bad to say it's bad writing. And I think, again, mainly people just have issue with the pacing of the arc. Now, there are some things that people just don't subjectively like. I know a lot of folks complain about how Sanji baked the cake in the first place. Well, I mean, that's always been his character component. And then so
exactly.
It's like, I mean, the way I see it is that a lot of folks who don't like Whole Cake Island, number one, just don't like Sanji. Number two, they don't like Sanji's character type, meaning that like he's a chef, and so we're in a food themed arc, And he said before that even if someone's on the verge of death, even if it's an enemy, I'm going to be able to cook I'm going to make sure that they survive because he experienced his father, Zeph. His father, Zeph, had eat his own leg to survive as a result of their inability to get food.
We reviewed the Bradier last week.
Yeah.
So we're well aware of Sanji's kid. This is the thing. I think another component that no one's like willing to bring up is that there's like a dick measuring competition between Zoro and Sanji all the time. It's because it's like Sanji's arc. They want to like stuff it down. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is Sanji arc. Of course it's shit. You know what I mean?
There's another factor that I think people... There's another factor that I think people do not want to talk about.
Yeah.
And that the Big Mom is a female. Do you think that's a factor in the hype?
In like not defeating her?
Big Mom.
No, in like... It's like people don't like Big Mom because she's not the
because she's a female?
Yeah, because she's not the brolic Kaido figure that people want to see in Shonen.
Okay.
Right? She's an abnormal character.
A hyped up Yonko figure. Fishman Island does that, I think, fairly well when it comes to hyping up Big Mom's story and how like and how like
I agree.
It's all gonna potentially be to the destruction.
But are you aware of Big Mom's? Are you aware of Big Mom's moniker on the forums?
Big Mom moniker on what? On the forums? No.
On the forums, they call her Big Meme, and everyone hates her because apparently she's weak. I agree with you, but most people do not.
On the forums,
outright.
I mean, on
most
YouTube
people on the forums do not.
YouTube's kind of mixed, where I think a lot of folks don't think that Big Mom is. I think a lot of folks say that Big Mom is the weak of the Yonko.
I think it's hard to get into the minds of like the general audience.
I just think like people want to see hype, and if you're bringing like a fat older lady to the table, maybe the aesthetic isn't hype when you're looking at it.
Just speaking on like themes of theater for a second, could get Kabuki themes in WANO. I said this on King's stream the other week.
I'm not too well versed in Kabuki. I'm gonna have to do some research into that.
Okay.
Because it's very different to traditional Western. So Whole Cake Island clearly influenced by Western.
Well, Greek tragedies.
Probably more Roman, but yeah. Influenced by very Western themes, where Wano's gonna be very Japanese. So you've got the most Western arc, and then you've got the most Japanese arc.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Alright, any closing statements on Whole Cake Island? Will we ever stop talking about Whole Cake Island?
I just want people to realize the greatness.
So. I think Whole Cake Island is controversial in so many ways.
I just want people to realize the greatness of Whole Cake Island. And people don't want to acknowledge it.
No, I think Whole Cake Island, for me, Whole Cake Island is the second best arc post time skip, without question. I still feel like Zoe is stronger, but I think when you go about
people forget like the first 5 chapters of Zoro where they're like the Straw Hats are dead.
The what now?
Yeah, you remember the first 5 chapters of Zoro when they kept on bringing up like the cliffhanger was Sanji's dead, Brooke's dead.
Yeah, like they're all dead, and then like you have.
I think time needs to pass, and then people will remember Whole Cake Island for the.
But I think that bar none, when you look at the character segment of Whole Cake Island, it is the strongest.
It's tremendous. It's tremendous.
It's absolutely phenomenal. And then not only that too, like I mean, like from the main character standpoints of Sanji, you can kind of say Jinbei now because Jinbei is a part of the crew in a certain sense. But I guess he's not fully the main character yet. But Brooke has got some very good stuff there for Carrot's character and the death of Pedro. But on top of that, when you look at on the opposing side too, Big Mom and her origins, but also Katakuri. There's no adversary for Luffy like Katakuri in the entire series. Katakuri is so standalone, and he's so. I mean, in all honesty, the only other villain that I think is like on the same bracket as Katakuri is Don Flamingo. Don Flamingo was revered by like so many. Katakuri came into that one arc. He was godly. Like the dude's character and how that developed over the course of the fight, I think was very good, albeit a bit weird in certain parts. But I think Oda's kind of trying to suss where things would fully go for Katakuri's character. By the same token, at the end of the arc, where you have that kind of conclusion where Brule comes in there, and then Katakuri, he's completely awake, completely conscious, just talking about it, and then going over his past and how he's actually kind of happy that Luffy escaped. I'm like, wait a minute now. Like, this is the adversary? Like, this is the guy we're against. He's an entirely different breed, entirely different class compared to, let's say, Rob Lucci, where Rob Lucci, he was just cut and dry dark justice, bro. Like, it is what it is. Katakuri's so much more deeper.
Katakuri's not evil, per se. He's doing the right thing for his
right,
family
for his crew. Exactly, right. Like in the case of Katakuri and Luffy in this case, even though the wedding was there and then it would have ruined the lives of German, that kind of sense, Luffy is still the bad guy.
He's a terrorist.
To them.
He's a terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He is a terrorist who's ruining their family structure, who is taking out his siblings. And Katakuri, being the backbone of the Big Mom Pirates, he is going to do what he does best, and he gained respect for Luffy over the course of the fight. Whereas at the beginning of the fight, it was like, cakewalk, like you can't beat me in the story.
Yeah. Before he knew Luffy, he just thought he was a punk bitch.
See, I have a theory, right?
Now he respects
I have a theory that people actually want the one-note characters.
Yeah.
They don't want characters with depth and character development. Because they get mad and they call ass pull when there's character turns and character development. That's the problem with the Katakuri fight. People don't want to see a villain be complex, have his own thoughts, and be able to change during a fight.
Right, because,
yeah.
It's like, to me, I would say, like, the fight itself, the only fault of the fight, I would say, is the end of the fight, where even to now, when it comes to the reason why, it's unclear. Like, you can give, like, 9 reasons as to why Katakuri fell down, and they all could be right. We just don't know. We have no idea. Especially when you get to the end of the arc, where it's, like, even more so when he's just awake on the ground. It's like, did you fall back on purpose? Like, yeah, kind of. It's like, wait, what? So, again, the whole thing about Katakuri's character is kind of shrouded in complexity. But then on top of that, I think also folks were thrown off by the notion that when you look at the Big Mom stuff with Katakuri, they're coming back. Like, they're coming back for sure. Yeah. Luffy said
Smoothie redemption, perhaps. Sure. Smoothie redemption.
Hopefully. It has to be, honestly. So, again, the thing is, you have these characters that are coming back to the story later on when, let's say, Luffy's at the appropriate level to take on Big Mom. But it also gives us an indication on how far Luffy is, actually. And Luffy's quite far, considering what Big Mom could do.
Yeah.
Quite far. So it gives us a much better standing of the main characters with respect to them and the rest of the globe's high tiers. It gives you character development. It gives you character progression. For character and for story, the arc is strong. Main for character. Again, the issues can be in pacing. And then even still when it comes to the fall arc, the falling action, even still, there is some justification there, in the sense that in order to get to this point, Pedro has to die. Pedro literally dies. He blows up, and just so they can stall and get out of there. Like, come on. Like,
and you've got a few like high pieces during that falling action as well, with like Big Mom, with Prometheus on fire.
Jinbei Shogun's role of the crew. Yeah. You get heaps of cool stuff in that section, and people want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, because people, I think, when it comes to One Piece is built for all ages. So there are certain elements that are simple and very straightforward. And when it comes to a lot of character complexity stuff, which I think for Sanji's, right now for me, when it comes to top 3 characters for the Strat crew, for character development, I think Sanji's in the top 3 now. Because Sanji's character, I think that self-awareness that he never really understood himself truly, and how Sanji, when you look at the entirety of the One Piece series, right, just very briefly, because he's done it himself, whether it's Mr. Prince, whether it was NES Lobby, Water 7, like Luffy, let me go and try to say, Robin on my own, go ahead, do that, Sanji's always been the solo actor. He's always gotten it done for the most part, with one exception, that was NES Lobby, when he was on the train and then he failed.
And now Sanji should be able to like trust his crew, as it were, and like
exactly.
It's called character development. Yeah. And people want to see it, and then when it happens, they don't want to see it.
They just throw terms out there. Yeah, it's like they don't know what the terms mean.
I mean, not only that, but I think that also, like, again, like when you point out earlier, like there's always like Oda kind of portrays this feud between Sanji and Zoro, and so automatically there's gonna be this disdain for Sanji when Sanji doesn't have an actual one-on-one fight, where Sanji is repeatedly in these situations that are tragic, that are heartbreaking. And then it's like, oh well, Sanji's a bitch. Like if this was Zoro, he would have been like, yeah, P wins. Like, no, like we're dealing with superior forces here, and the whole point here is to retreat in the first place. If Zoro is there, I mean, I guess it doesn't realize. I guess folks don't realize it, but if Zoro was there, nothing changes. It's the same situation.
Pretty much.
It's the same thing. Nothing changes.
Maybe a few smoothie clashes, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, maybe fair enough. Because she has a sword too, so she could actually be useful. Yeah.
All right, so Whole Cake Island,
It's a great arc, and you got to read it in the right lens.
Don't go in salty, go in charitable.
Go in open-minded, and actually there's a lot of subtle changes in Sanji's character throughout the arc that people are missing. Also, Katakuri is the greatest post-time skip character in the series.
I think he is.
Right?
I mean, aside from maybe Flamingo, maybe Flamingo has issues. But his weight,
I have issues with Flamingo.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I have issues because just quickly, the thing with Flamingo is he's supposed to be the manipulator, and he doesn't use that to his advantage in the fight against Luffy. Like, he's just all raw power in the fight against Luffy. Like, why not grab Zoro and make Luffy fight Zoro? He's a his fighting styles kind of goes against his character.
I mean, I think he did that with Bellamy too. Yeah, he did with Bellamy, I think. I
he did it a bit, but when it came down to like the final battle, he kind of like just resorted to raw strength.
Making Doflamingo that strong is probably an issue that will.
It's unnecessary. Yeah, you didn't have to make Doflamingo that strong, right?
Really?
But look, you didn't have to, right? If Oda didn't bring out Gear 4 in Dressrosa, there would be no problems with Luffy's power scaling.
Yeah.
The problems with Luffy's power scaling is because of Dressrosa, because Mingo was so strong that he had to go all out against him, and now we have issues with, is Luffy...
And then, fair enough. I think that when you break it down at its core, the issue, it just really boils down to one thing, and that's Gear 4 has a time limit. If Gear 4 didn't have that stark time limit, if you can go to Gear 4 for hours on end, the power scale will be fine. But he can't.
I think we'll get there soon enough.
Right,
Yeah, we've said that. So, overall, go read Whole Cake Island properly.
And read the official translation.
Read the official translation as well.
Because there's nonsense in the John Mimi's box translation and shit.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna get the volumes of that too. Because I want to read that official one. Be part of my review of the arc.
The fun part, the next part.
The power scale.
Now, King, you've got a copy of the power scale, yes?
Yeah, I've seen the list, yeah.
Alright, so Christian, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Let's let King go first.
King, well, let's explain how it works. Alright, King, you throw out a character that's not on the power list, on the power scale. You suggest a tier and bracket, you make your case, and then Christian decides where he goes.
Yeah.
Because Christian is the keeper of the power scale.
I am the power scale king, alright?
Okay, the power scale. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see.
And I'm the sole keeper of the power scale.
Alright.
So throw out the character and we'll...
Now, King, you can go anywhere you want. You can go low end, high end, whatever. As long as he's not on the list.
Alright, I'm gonna start with Law.
Law.
Trafalgar D. Water Law.
See...
I'm thinking the Law probably is in I actually put him like in between high and low high. But
alright, so here's the thing with
probably go high.
Alright, so let's break him down a little bit. A broken devil fruit ability. Yes. Let's just throw that out there. Instantly, top tier devil fruit ability.
Busted.
Can seemingly do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Teleport, cut people into pieces with one slice, no matter what it is. Get the gamma knife, broken, shred your organs up, unless you got healing abilities, you're dead from that.
Teleporting,
shocks, electric attacks, probably has some sort of fire attacks, Haki confirmed.
Weird emotion changing ability.
Soul transfers that don't come back, like the immortality surgery.
Infinite range on like hearts in boxes.
Yeah, hearts in boxes can just pop your heart out and kill you instantly. But, is he the fastest character? Is he the strongest character physically? His devil fruit ability is very good. He has the strength because he cuts the entire mountain range of Punk Hazard.
Yes.
Now, is that part of his ability? Somewhat so. But we see in Dressrosa, how he's like, I created a bubble so big that it reduced my lifespan. And the one in Punk Hazard wouldn't have to be bigger than that if he was to use his sword to slash that entire battle range.
Yeah, no.
With his ability.
There's probably a difference between instantaneous and sustained. That one that he made so big, I think he has to sustain that one for a period of a few minutes so Flamingo wouldn't notice. Flamingo didn't notice it because he had already created and sustained it for a period of time. Whereas for the mountain range, that could be just an instant one, and then he can cut when the bubble expands to its maximum at like a fraction of a second. That's what I think the main that is.
So is that a strength feat or a devil fruit feat?
That's a devil fruit feat because the thing about it is that his strength feat would be like blocking attacks from Flamingo.
Talk to us. We all acknowledge Law's broken ass devil fruit. Talk to us about his combat repertoire without the devil fruit. What does he bring to the table without it?
Law just brings in a fair amount of reaction speed. He brings in a fair amount of he's not very durable as a character, but then again, very few of his characters are actually durable and tanky. But they do have very good endurance where Law could still operate, even though he kind of lost an arm. So he's able to endure that pain and keep on fighting. He's extremely intelligent. He's probably one of the most, as far as you can tell, one of the smartest guys in the verse. And then on top of that, he has armored hockey, but as far as I don't know, Kamboshan hockey. Oh, he has Kamboshan hockey, I would assume, by a byproduct, but to what a degree? Not to like a significant degree. Like the same kind of like, let's say Flamingo. Flamingo, he never showed very good Kamboshan hockey, but he showed very good armored hockey. So it's kind of like you would assume that he does the Kamboshan hockey, but maybe not to the extent to where just to the extent to where he can dodge attacks better because of Kamboshan hockey, rather than let's say be able to sense people's feelings better, or what we see with Enel, what we see with Fujitoro, or what we see with Rayleigh, or what we see with
the exercise that. So you're suggesting high tier, yes?
I think that he is either in the high tier or the low high.
Would you pick one? Which would you say, and then we'll stack them against it and see where we go. Would you say high? Or would you say low high?
I would say. I would say
hard because
I would say high.
Going down the list.
I would say high. I think he'd be the bottom of the high. Yeah. Because your list is broader than mine. Oh no, your list is not as broad.
The brackets are larger. Yeah.
Because you have Magellan in there, and I think that Law could be honestly.
He doesn't beat Doflamingo.
Because Flamingo, I think, knows about his powers too well. Yeah, he doesn't.
Well, he does. Mingo already fucked him up.
I think Mingo has the overall stats to beat Law. Yeah. Mingo is very fast. He's very strong. He almost has as much Devil Fruit mastery as Law. Yeah. He could do crazy like.
I think he has more. No, he has more than Law. Yeah, definitely. He has an awakening.
He's got. So he's got greater Devil Fruit
beat Rayleigh.
Mastery. No, he doesn't beat Rayleigh.
No, he doesn't beat Rayleigh. He doesn't beat Sabo. He doesn't beat. The only one I think he beats is Magellan. That's
Magellan. Yeah. And we put Magellan in the list because of the broken Devil Fruit. Yeah.
Right, so but again, it's like in a broader sense, when you look at Law's powers, Law, he does things like bypass durability because of his double power. He can manipulate you at a cellular level and remove things like poison. Like the kids, when they're eating the candy, he's able to operate on the kids. They get cut into pieces, and then he's able to remove whatever they had ingested and extract that poison within their cells because of his ability.
Yeah, so we're saying that Law is basement tier, high tier. He's at the bottom
of high tier. Because I think he beat Magellan. Better than Magellan. But high tier, I think, is fair. The Devil Fruit pulls him across the finish line. Yeah. That's what I have to say about that.
Well, the Devil Fruit gets him up there. Without the Devil Fruit, he'd be in trouble.
Without the Devil Fruit, I'm going to say maybe he scrapes into low-high. Yeah. Because Mingo absolutely outspeeds the shit out of him.
Yeah, he's slow.
He's not slow. He just can't deal with the Sky Demon. Yeah. And who can deal with the Sky Demon? You know. Luffy. Apparently Luffy gear 4.
For only 30 minutes. For only 30 minutes or so.
Oh, his gear 2 is pretty...
His gear 2 can hit.
Right, it hit him, but it lacks
the damage. But it's not strong enough.
Right.
It lacks the damage, but like speed-wise, Luffy's kind of around the Sky Demon level. But...
No, in Gear 2 he's faster. I think he's actually faster in Gear 2.
Gear 4 is faster than Doflamingo.
True. Yeah, that too, right, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the fight, Doflamingo kind of got used to it, so... It's weird. So... Law high tier. Yeah, because he awake.
Yeah. Law high tier.
Law high tier.
I think we're all
so it's like here's the thing. So here's the thing. So like if you compare him to let's say the low high tiers, I think he beats Virgo, he beat Burgess, he beats Rob Lucci, he beats Oven, and he beats Cat Viper.
Nekomamushi.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Nekomamushi. Yeah. What? I'm like, who the hell's Cat Viper? Nekomamushi.
We put him in there because no Haki confirmed.
All right, we have to use the official names, and the official name is Cat Viper.
No, I don't.
It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, we're not going to use Dogtooth for Katakuri. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So,
Law high tier. Christian, you.
Now, we have Kingu here, so it's only fair to bring up the possible top 5 character. We all know, love him. Judgy, the Garuda.
Oh, the Garuda.
Let's get into it.
That's top tier. He's up there with Big Mom and White Blackbeard.
Now, I would have to challenge you.
Easy.
On that statement.
Dude, why you challenge, bro?
Because it's ridiculous.
Dude, he off-screen snacks. He's up there, bro.
Dude, he has the power to change bounties.
Snacks could have slipped on a banana peel. Who knows what happened there? Who knows what happened? So,
banana peels apparently are prominent in Hokage. Apparently, your Rose knows.
Well, there's a lot of food around, so it's possible. It's more likely than not in Hokage Island. So, realistically, let's break him down.
Honestly, I'd probably put him in like mid-tier or like mid-high or like high mid-tier. But here's my issue though. I'm looking at the list. I have no idea where you have Crocodile mid-tier. You have him up you have him with Horty Jones, Norland, Monet,
It's because
Crocodile? What?
It's because we've upped him to New World standards. So we've added a little bit of leeway there. But the thing is the Devil Fruit and what he can do with it. So I think... See, the thing with Horty Jones is he that impressive? No.
Horty Jones he's kind of tanky, and he has, at his strongest, he was able to take a water bullet and he could shoot it, and then it went across the entire country. But Horty Jones is weaker than Jinbei, and as far as you know, in every way, shape, and form.
No doubt. But
so Jinbei Horty Jones off the gate. But Horty Jones is not. It's not. To me, he's not impressive. Not really. No.
Yeah, he's not impressive. That's why he's in mid tier.
Yeah, I think he's mid tier. Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. So.
We basically started Crocodile into like low mid, and we came to the conclusion that he'd probably beat all those people in low mid.
Well, you have Smoker over Crocodile, which I think is
because Smoker is confirmed. Smoker is confirmed to have Haki.
Yeah.
So we have to add that factor in. Smoker hasn't really had a fight in the New World.
But then you have Kiros and Page over Crocodile.
Because here's the thing: people
alone cannot mean that you.
It's basically over
power, like
because
okay, go on.
King.
Okay, listen.
It's because
no. Okay. Here's the thing: in One Piece, you have 3, and again, Vito's play in the future. In One Piece, you have 3 major pools of power. You have Delphin power, you have Haki power, and then you have base power. Now, base power is like the majority. So we're talking about Kenjutsu, Kenpo, snipers. We're talking about like all those guys. That's all base power. Then you have your Haki power. Kiros has Haki power and base power, but no Delphi power. But Crocodile has no Haki. If you're basing on pre-time skip, no Haki power, but Delphi power and base power. So I was like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
And then now you have to upscale the powers. He has a Logan
power,
which
that's
is
what we
already
do.
the strongest powers in the verse.
We take all those. We basically assign a number in our head via all those categories.
We did the calculations
and become a total number.
I have to look at those numbers. Those calculations, I'm pretty sure, are false.
Because
Crocodile
it's because of the
Crocodile should be high mid with NL, honestly.
It's because of the pre-time skip factor.
Wait. Because you think time? I thought you were arguing that Crocodile's lower than
too high.
Than mid. I thought you were arguing that Crocodile's too high. You think he's going higher?
No, I think what? Wait a minute. Time out. Low mid, you have Pacifista, Nami, and the Boa Hancock's sisters, bro.
Yeah.
So
wait, what? Wait, time out. Wait a minute.
Did you say you want him to go higher or lower?
All right,
Crocodile should be higher. Definitely.
Well, he is in mid tier.
Let me remind you of an arc called. Let me tell you about an arc called Shibuya Archipelago, where Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro took some effort to take down one Pacifista. And that was after they had their power-ups from AEST Lobby. So you're telling me that they would struggle against Crocodile as much as they struggled against the Pacifista.
Even more so. Wait a minute, time out. You do understand.
That's why he's up.
Yeah, no.
That's why he's up there.
No. But you do understand the only reason why you're able to Luffy actually damaged Crocodile in the first place after losing twice previously is because of the blood on his hands. Like, again, here's what I do. When I look at a character and I try to engage him combat-wise, I look at their overall strength. Not necessarily in the sense of a fight, but what the characters have showcased and what that means for the world itself that they're in. And Crocodile, from a Devil Fruit standpoint, is one of the highest in the verse when it comes to his ability. He's one of the he's one of the few Logia that can actually move successfully in particle form. Like, literally, he can move in particle form.
His combat is so bad that
his combat ability is not that good, King.
Well, it's bad or is it good?
It's not that good. That's why he's in mid tier.
No, it's no.
And now watches
good. It's good. Therefore, he should be in high mid tier.
But Anel's combat ability is greater than Crocodile's combat.
But Anel's lightning. I think Anel should be low.
We're not talking about Delphi. We're not talking about Anel's.
Here's the thing. Anel gets fucking one shot, so therefore he's not.
No. But Anel should be raised one rank. And Crocodile should be raised one rank.
Alright. Imagine Anel in the New World. One Haki Fist knocks him out. What is that?
No, wait.
Explain that to me, King. Explain that to me.
Wait, hold on. One Haki Fist didn't knock him out. That's not what happened at all.
Yeah, but it would.
No. It depends on the person. If the person
a golden rifle knocks him out.
Yeah, a golden rifle took him out. Yeah, after a
from pre-time skip Luffy.
After a slew of attacks, like Luffy get stronger. Absolutely.
Like, gentlemen, we're trying to power scale judge here. All right, we don't need to get into.
All right,
we just relax a little bit.
Okay, time out. Pre-time skip Luffy struggled against Pacifista. Post-time skip one shots Pacifista. Correct.
Yes. Okay, that's fine.
So therefore, we have to scale Enel to New World levels.
Absolutely. Okay, but then that you're comparing Enel to Luffy, where he has a disadvantage. Enel may have low durability and low endurance. Okay,
extreme.
No. He has very low durability and he has low endurance. That's fair. That's fine. But then look at someone like Cracker, where Cracker can take one shot and he's effectively done. Again, but look at the other things that he has going for him. NL's range, he has multi-island range, literally multi-island range. He can smite people from like dozens of miles away on a different island. He can smite you with L4.
Is that impressive?
That's very
impressive in
New World.
Because
we know.
Of course, because wait, tell me. Not most
people are faster than the speed of lightning. They can dodge that with observation haki, especially.
Yes, no, of course.
So it's not that impressive.
But that doesn't change the fact that he still has multi-island range.
He does.
So again, if you're Kamboshan Haki, if you're literally miles away, and you can't perceive that, if your Kamboshan Haki isn't good enough, because mind you, Don Flamingo, I would assume has Kamboshan Haki to a certain degree, but to what degree, we have no idea. He was well-versed in armored haki, true, but Kamboshan haki, him and Law didn't showcase really anything. Luffy did, but I mean, are we going to really say that, let's say, Doflamingo has Kamboshan haki enough to perceive and dodge a lightning attack? I mean, I would say he can dodge it reflexively with his own reflexes, but actually sense it? Come on now.
King, are you aware that a pre-time skip Luffy, not in Gear 2, was able to reflect lightning?
You know, I'm aware of that. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And, but also
the speed of lightning is not that impressive.
But he's in the thick of it. He's actively trying to hunt down NL, and he's searching for NL, and he kicks both ways. We know that. That was an actual chasing that was going on for episodes, for chapters, right? I'm talking about NL literally being away, literally an island away. There's a guy has a mind to target. He can smite him from range.
But Sanji can sense that distance. We've seen him sense crazy distances
Sanji cannot sense multiple islands. The only character we know that can do that.
We don't know how big Dressrosa is.
Okay, fair. But the only other person we know that can actually sense that far, and not even that far, but just kind of close to it, is Rayleigh. And that's the only, and that's it. Rayleigh, and you have Rayleigh in high tier.
Yeah, don't talk about Rayleigh, right?
Rayleigh's a very complicated argument.
Don't talk about Rayleigh.
And honestly, Rayleigh should be rose in the rank too. Yo, this list,
King.
No.
Don't talk about Rayleigh. I'm with you with Rayleigh, all right? Christian's.
There are multiple half-an-hour conversations.
You're just question heavily because not only that. Okay, because you have to look at combat ability from every avenue possible.
We do.
There's 10 avenues. There's about 10 avenues. For example. NL has one of the highest DCs in the verse. He can vaporize an island. given the right conditions. So wait a minute now. No one else in the new world has shown DC of that level. So,
but King, that's not an instant attack. He has to charge that up.
Okay, yeah, but he can do it though. He can do it. That's the issue.
So
if
what?
you give Katakuri prep time, can he destroy an island? Probably not.
Who knows? Who knows?
Probably not though. If you get again, we're talking about DC. That's like the only other character that has high DC.
But DC's not that.
But DC is one component. No, you're right. It's one.
Yeah,
component.
it's not that. Here's the thing. Lightning. DC is impressive, but is the attack potency that impressive?
Ursa's Shock.
If you vaporize an island, that's very potent.
Ursa's Shock is impressive, right?
But it
lacks.
It has massive range,
right,
but it doesn't have potency.
Right. Exactly. Because the shockwave it spans the island, but it can't destroy the island. It can move things around and cause probably like internal damage to anybody that's in the radius. Okay, fine.
I think
for me, the main problem is the endurance and the durability. That is why he doesn't make it into the
endurance.
top of
no, but the endurance is actually fairly high. Like it's not. His durability is low, definitely. His endurance, though, like he took a kick from Luffy off guard, mind you, all pre-time skip. But then he was, he was
Crocodile shows more feats. Crocodile shows more endurance feats.
Yeah, but Crocodile lacks in range, and he lacks in the comparable range of NL.
So it's a fair scale.
But the Crocodile's abilities as a whole, where he can manipulate moisture by sucking out all the blood in someone's body and killing them, when he can literally become into, again, very Flu Logan, not even Aokiji, granted, Aokishi's ice, but only Kizaru and Akainu on occasion have been able to show that on a regular basis. Ace can't do that.
All right.
Like, wait a minute now.
Smoker could do it.
Smoker, right? Yeah, but again, like what I'm saying is that if you have Smoker that high at high mid, then Crocodile belongs at high. Crocodile belongs at high mid, definitely.
Here's the thing: if we see Crocodile in the new world, Haki confirmed, more durability, more strength feats, I'll give it to you. But until that evidence is shown, I can't give it to you.
Now, we're supposed to be talking about Judge here. So, shall we talk about Judge?
Judge.
Yeah, I think Judge mid-tier. I mean, I think Judge is middle. Just flat middle.
Slap him in the mid-tier. Easy.
Thoughts about Hody Jones and Judge, and Monet and Judge? I think he beats Monet.
I don't know why Hody Jones is even... Okay, Monet...
Because it's the original... Alright, go, Monet.
Monet is not impressive. Like, I don't understand. Like,
it's because of the Logia effect. You have to factor that in.
It's very complex.
No, there's a lot of moving parts here.
I know it's complex, but not all Logias are.
True.
Yeah, and if she didn't have a Logia, she would not be.
She would not be nowhere near this tier.
Well, yeah, of course, but then at the same time, that would mean
because most characters cannot hurt her.
Right. Yeah, but
that's a massive factor.
Of course. Yeah. Right. But again, all that applies for her Logia applies to Crocodile. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, Christian, we can have a stream on this one, but I mean, I'm just telling you that.
All right, invite me to the stream.
I will.
And I will prove everyone wrong.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
Judge mid-tier. Me, I'm going to go easy, nice and simple this week. Kaido, the King of Beasts.
Top tier.
He's top tier.
Top tier, no doubt.
Top tier, done.
Top tier, no doubt.
Now, Kaido...
Based off...
Very quick. Speculation on Devil Fruit, speculation on abilities. Go.
I like the dragon idea. I like the Oni idea. Just brute force.
All right. King.
I would rather him be a creature of some kind that ate a devil fruit.
Yes.
That was
like
mythical Zoid. I think that's like a humanoid version of that. So I know folks say Oni or maybe devil, something of the sort. But at the same time,
think about?
But at the same time, he could also be a member of Orz's clan with the horns, because like there's horns in them, and with the power of devil fruit. Like,
what do you think about a dragon who ate the Oni fruit? What do you think about that?
That's a bit much, but at the same time,
it's a bit much.
It combines everything we want.
But at the same time, the Yonko are supposed to be a bit much, so fair.
He is the strongest creature in the world.
Right? Yeah, I think creature's the big factor here. I think you have to recognize that he's probably a creature. He was probably a creature from Jump, and then ate a human-ish fruit. Now I'm trying to think of any type of creature that has horns like that. Or that is humanish, and then I would associate that with demons and devils.
Yeah, Ors. Yeah,
Ors. Yeah. So the Ors clan have horns. Also, the one guy in Blackbeard's crew, I forgot his name.
Warrior kind of has horns.
He's got bitch-tiered horns.
Yeah, he's got bitch-tiered horns.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I think that there's a clan of them, and the horns could be a symbol of their power too. But it kind of
like their rank.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So contentious power scale this week. King's not happy.
I mean, I'll sit down.
I'm not happy.
I will sit down with you, King, and explain
Nekomamushi over
every
Crocodile. That to me is madness.
What?
Enough about the
that
power
statement
scale.
Is madness.
Christian.
That's crazy, King.
The thing about King, the thing about Christian is he's a very stubborn man and will never.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, I mean, I'm not
next segment, the question corner. Let's go.
All right, we get questions from the people. They write in. We answer their questions. Very simple.
All right.
Go on. First question.
First question from AK Aaron or Aurora.
Yeah.
Question for episode 27. Is this the best intro to our arc so far? And, as you said, next volume cover will include Wano. Alright, so, is this the greatest entry to an arc we've seen?
With Wano Kuni?
Yeah.
I can't think... Nothing comes to mind that stands out as, like, a first chapter of an arc.
I mean, some people might like the Big Mom musical.
Yep.
Aspect of that. That was kind of a cool opening.
Yeah, but was that the first chapter?
It was the introduction to the main island. You know what I mean?
It might have been the first.
Yeah, but
they arrived at Chocolate Town.
They arrived at Chocolate Town. So I don't know if you want to include that. It's debatable.
I mean, I guess you could say like the only thing that could be Wano from the first chapter, like the first chapter of the arc, would probably be like the Summon War, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Was the first chapter
like Whitebeard coming out, like you have like the dink, ding, and it's like, oh, whoa, and then you see like for the first time, it's like, I think it was the first chapter of the Summon War.
First chapter of Just Roast is pretty damn good. We get Ace's fruit revealed. That Bingo has it. Right. That's pretty cool.
Zo's shit.
When we go to Punk Hazard, like Fishman Island, like you know, like when come out of the war, you have like the Lagoon class whales like yelling, and then the ocean's on fire and they're all freaking out. You know,
Fishman Island, the first chapter is very beautiful. Is it hype? No, really. That's just a story out there. If you maybe you like that.
I guess then the question is like, what do you weigh more? Do you weigh hype more? Do you weigh beauty more? Do you weigh story impact more and that kind of stuff?
I think Wano has it all. The first half. It's not even a full chapter. It's like half a chapter. And it does.
It's a very strong opening with a lot of intrigue. Very beautiful. It could be. I just need the opening to arcs aren't very ceremonious in One Piece. They're kind of just like, we're here now.
Yeah. This is the thing with Wano as well. We understand the laws and cultures because, like, everyone's, I guess, somewhat aware of Japan.
If you watch anime, you're aware of Japan's culture.
And it's like, we also get an idea of how it works real quick as well. So.
Well, but also at the same time, I think that applies to a lot of arcs because a lot of arcs are themed around cultures, like whether it's Spain and whether it's, you know, China.
I think the weeb community is most, weeb community is most familiar with Japan.
Right. Yeah, true.
Next question.
Next question from, again, AK Aurora. Where is Law?
I don't know.
Hold on, you cut from me. Hold on. You cut from me, so I couldn't hear what you just said.
Where is Law? That's the question.
I think that Law is probably still on Zoe. That's my guess for the time being.
Still on Zoe.
Because
interesting.
Because I thought about
was it the plan?
Because I thought about it for a while, and I thought, I don't think Nami got an eternal log post to Wano. So I think that first you'd have to go back to Zoe, and also Momonosuke still at Zoe because he's trying to learn stuff about Zunisha. So he'd still be at Zoe probably because he would be their guide to Wano Kuni. That'd be my guess.
But don't they have a Vivre card of someone at Wano?
Yes.
Because that was the plan. That was the plan, but I can't remember who.
Interesting.
Because the plan was...
No, not Kinemon. Then is it Law?
It might be Law. I think Luffy has the Vivre card of Law or some shit.
Well, I mean, I think that you need that because if he's still on Zoe, then because Zoe moves around, so.
But was it the plan with Zoro and that gang to take Law's sub to Wano so they're not detected? Wasn't that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
think that was the plan.
I mean, because it's been a few. It depends how close Zunisha is at a time to Wano. And I don't know how. So like it could be the case where like they're just close enough to go and take him there, stick him in, and take him back, and then they go back.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Law not to be in the first half of the arc and to come back later because I
Yeah,
just want to see the Straw Hats.
I just want to see the Straw Hats. I don't care about Law. He's such an uninteresting character. Like he's got nothing going for him now. Like, what's his goal? He's got nothing going for him. He already defeated Mingo. What's his goal?
Yeah,
the main plan was Kaido, and then he has the powers to potentially grant folks immortality. So one would assume that since Kaido is supposed to be this pseudo in more, he's impervious to damage.
He's important.
I mean, Law's powers could also
no doubt he's important. He's important to the plot, but he's not an interesting character.
Yeah, he's important to the plot, but he's not interesting.
I think Law's interesting. I think Law's interesting.
He's got. I think he's more a one-note, edgy character that doesn't really say much or do much.
Yeah.
But like he already did his goal in Dressrosa.
It might be a Robin situation where Robin got all of her development in her arc, and Law will just be put to the background now. He's
a side character. He really shouldn't take up Straw Hat panel time.
Yeah.
I want to see the Straw Hats. All right.
Next question.
From Monkey D. Sparrow. Alright, Sanji did everything you weren't supposed to do to your captain. What will Zoro do to Sanji when he hears about this?
I don't think it'll be brought up.
He's the whole situation is the whole situation is done with. Luffy has accepted him in the crew.
Yeah.
It's done. Alright? There's nothing to discuss.
And it's not like who's gonna bring it up?
Who's gonna bring it up? Like, what snitch is gonna bring it up?
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever bring that up?
Only Nami and Luffy can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nami's going to be like, yo, Zoro, Sanji did this.
Yeah, Nami's not going to tattletale on Sanji. Like, it's such a nothing thing that... I think it's more of a community thing that people think is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I can't see it happening because it's done with.
Yeah, we dealt with it.
We dealt with it.
And Luffy's the captain.
Luffy's the captain at the end of the day. Alright, from Return to Slab, what is he comment every week?
Long-time viewer.
Question. What do you think will be the biggest disappointment in Wano? And what do you think will exceed expectations the most in Wano? Alright, most disappointing thing in Wano is going to be the pacing at some points.
Yeah.
We're going to need to set up things. There's going to be like 4 weeks of setup. People are going to get frustrated, but you're just going to push through it. That's my answer.
No, I agree. I agree with that one. Yeah. That's because again, given the length of this arc, or what the assumed length of this arc, it's gonna happen at some point.
From what the information we have about Kaido, people are gonna be most disappointed in how we nerf him. That's my
he's
prediction.
getting nerfed.
Me specifically doesn't have a big issue with it, but the way he's nerfed anyway, it doesn't matter how it's done. People are gonna have issues with it.
I think it's going to be a combo fight with the Supernovas.
I think no. I think that the only way it makes sense to nerf Kaido that's actually feasible, that makes actual sense, that I think very folks would complain about, is if Law dies in the process of nerfing Kaido.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. Like, we didn't know Big Mom's weakness until we were on Whole Island. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
So there might be like
I don't think
character things about.
Wait. What is? You mean
the food thing?
The food thing.
We didn't know about
the weakness.
We didn't know about Big Mom. We didn't know about Big Mom's weakness.
It's a weakness after like 5 hours of running from her. Yeah, fine. But I mean, is it a weakness when you're up in her face and she's like demoned up? I don't know.
But that's like how the Straw had to deal with her in the plot. Like that's
right. Yeah, given the circumstances. But if there's no means, if there's no page to give your life for it, if there's no Katakuri to try and stall out, if it's just Big Mom and them in a closed room and Big Mom is hyped.
Yeah, in a power scale situation, I don't include that character flaw.
That's not an issue for her like power level or whatever.
Because here's the thing: she only goes on that rampage when she doesn't get what she wants. It's not that she's hungry. It's that she's in a specific rage.
Right.
Because she doesn't get what she wants.
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like it's a weakness for her like power level. I'm saying like, will Kaido have a similar thing that the Straw Hats can do?
I mean, the only thing we know so far is that like there's the alcohol thing, so that could play a role in that.
There's too many other options, right? Because we've got Law, who could do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
We've also got Hawkins, who can cripple people with his Devil Fruit ability, with his voodoo-like ability. Yeah. Maybe they make a voodoo doll of Kaido to somehow weaken him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
Right.
So there are heaps of options to nerf Kaido, and Oda just has to choose.
But I still think anyway, people are gonna be upset.
Oh, people are gonna be upset. Kaido's nerfed, no doubt.
Yeah, of course.
But it has to happen. It has to happen.
Think that will exceed expectations. I think Sanji this arc will exceed expectations.
Please give us.
People aren't expecting much from him this arc.
Yeah.
But I think he'll deliver.
I want Sanji to have a fight.
Well, I don't know about expectations as in like exceeding that because I think he's already done a good job. My only issue with Sanji is that I'm not too sure where the raid suit's gonna fit because I know folks have been saying that he can either wear the raid suit or they can engineer the raid suit so they can all have powers from that same raid suit. But what I really would say is, what I think is going to exceed expectations is if there is an actual clash between Yonko and then we actually see what goes down with Big Mom and Kaido. If Big Mom actually does come there. So
well, from the official translation makes it pretty clear that Big Mom's on her way. So
right, but at the same time, it's like it's so. That in of itself, I think,
it's so outlandish. It's so crazy.
Where it's like it's not going to be again. It's like it's Oda's way of saying like, okay, look, the Strikes themselves by themselves can't handle the situation, so we still have these outside forces to deal with said situation for them.
I think that's just how the world is
for them. No.
Do we think?
No. That's not what it was.
Frankie's weapons will come into play in nerfing Kaido?
Frankie's weapons?
Frankie's weapons. He said he was developing weapons for the battle, but I don't know if that's...
but I mean, no, because Kaido's going to be a...
Come on!
Don't underestimate weapons in One Piece, like...
Of course. I
mean Vegapunk...
Zoro, when the characters use it, I'm not, but at the same token, it's like, dude... Kaido's baby shaking. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know, that's his MO. Like, until he is nerfed by law or... That's
another thing. I think people are going to be like... I think people are going to be disappointed with their expectations of Kaido's strength. I don't think he's like... I think people are a little bit overhyped on him.
I think
that's going to be standard with an Emperor
Akainu or the other... Okay, wherever you rank the admirals, like Fujitora, Green Bull, Kizaru, you put Kaido over them. That's it. You put Kaido over Miho.
Yeah, definitely. The Emperors are the outliers of the world, alright? They have to be above everyone else.
Emperors are above...
everything.
Admirals. That's just factual evidence.
Right.
Alright?
Right.
So...
and this is the thing, like, all the Emperors are supposed to be equal, so he will be around Big Mom level.
Big Mom is very strong. I don't understand this hatred towards Big Mom.
No, I think Big Mom is scarier than Whitebeard when we saw Marineford War. Again, my issue
definitely.
Is,
100%.
Yeah,
King.
Again,
I had a whole show putting this debate forward with factual evidence that people forget about Whitebeard.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Mom stronger than Whitebeard. People don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
But it's fact.
Next question.
All right, Monkey D. Sparrow again. Can you guys talk about the similarities between Luffy and Zoro's character? In the earliest episodes, Luffy the one had fucking syntax. Luffy had bad sense of direction.
Yeah.
Both don't want to be heroes because they don't want to share. They don't want to share their food, etc.
I don't think Luffy and Zoro's character are similar at all.
At the start of this series, a little bit.
They both have ambition, which is like the linking connection between the two characters, but I don't think they're similar in that many ways.
Luffy and Zoro, right?
Yeah. They're kind of stupid. They're headstrong. They have ambition. It's just that Zoro's chosen the path of the sword, and Luffy wants to be the Pirate King.
Yeah.
But like Zoro does care for his friends as much as Luffy does. He recognizes strength.
They do think differently at times.
At times,
they have different opinions on things.
Like the main case being Usopp, pretty much.
Yeah. I think they're similar, but they've got their distinct character traits.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. From the man, Andre returns.
Yes.
I guess this is a question for King. Ask him, does he really honestly... he would fucking go. Does he really honestly believe Sanji is equal to Zoro, and why? I almost agree with him that he says in his videos, but it's still something that I can't believe. Is Sanji equal to Zoro?
Yeah.
He wants to know why.
Oh, well, simple. Sanji's assets are, from an overall combat standpoint, Sanji's strengths are equal to that of Zoro's strengths. So this is the problem with like this comes down to a fundamental perception of a power. Again, like this is the Dragon Ball Z notion of I can blow up more, therefore I'm more powerful.
You gotta look a lot harder to find Sanji's stuff than Zoro, because Zoro's out in the open. Sanji, you gotta dig deeper to get the knowledge.
I mean, you have to actually.
No. Like, it's not even like that deep. It's actually shown, I think, fairly well. But again, Zoro's feats are just more, I think, awe-inspired because like Zoro's feats are more destructive. Therefore, they're more awe-inspiring. Double page spreads. Right? Yeah. So, for example, it's like Zoro has more DC than Sanji. That I think is clear. But Sanji outclasses Zoro in speed in almost every avenue, whether it's agility, whether it's travel speed, whether it's combat movement speed, whether it's attack speed. Sanji just faster than Zoro overall. So from the standpoint of a one-to-one, Sanji wins in speed, Zoro wins in DC. When it comes to, let's say, for example, intelligence, Sanji is definitely smarter than Zoro, without question. But
what about combat intelligence?
Well,
what about combat intelligence?
Even still, like this isn't even okay. Like this, I think is done. I think as plain and simple. You look at Sanji's opponents. For the most part, they do tricky stuff, which is part of the reason I think he's gonna fight a ninja in Wano Kuni. Right. You look at Jabra. You look at Bon Clay. Those guys have tried to use tricks in the middle of their fight to try and get the win. If it's someone like Zoro, they're gonna be stumped because Zoro's an idiot. But Sanji's actually smart to perceive, like what you're doing here is nonsense, or I'm finding a way around it. Whereas with Zoro, it's more headstrong, like fight, and then like that end of story. Even with let's say Kengo Ryoma and Zoro, with the Brook Shadow, that was a very cut and dry sword fight, and even Brook says it end quickly. Whereas Sanji, he's dealing with an invisible human, and then he can't perceive him because of course at that time there's no Kimochiro Haki. So and then he has to protect Nami too in the process. Like, come on, bro. Like Sanji always has it way harder. I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, but would you say that Kaku was a tricky fight for Zoro? There's a lot of tricks during that fight, and Zoro did handle himself.
Well, the thing about Kaku is that Kaku, he did things to also screw himself, because Kaku, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He was doing like pasta machine stuff. He was trying to like find out, like he was doing things like, okay, I'm a square now. I can't actually do anything. Actually, I'm gonna try and ricochet Ron Kaku off the ceiling. It's like
I think the better example is Mr. One in Alabasta.
He powered through that.
He figured out how to do it.
True, he figured out a power.
But it wasn't by his own
intelligence,
cognition. It was kind of via happenstance.
Kind of via trading. It was via trading. It wasn't via intelligence.
I feel like Zoro would push through Bon Clay anyway.
Yeah, that's what Zoro does. He just pushes through.
Right, yeah, but like the difference between let's say Bon Clay and Sanji, between let's say if you flip it around, to where it's Sanji against Mr. One, and then it's Bon Clay against Zoro. Zoro's gonna have a very hard time hitting Bon Clay just in general. And then on top of that, Bon Clay, the dude, he has shown the ability to at least blow like Mr. One in a mock like skirmish they had. Like it wasn't as if like Mr. One could coast Bon Clay. Like Bon Clay wasn't, like Bon Clay actually has some niceness to him. Whereas in Sanji's case, Mr. One is gonna have a hard time hitting Sanji, but Sanji's gonna have a hard time penetrating through the steel. But back in the day, it was noted when Sanji was training that Zed was able to leave his foot imprint in steel. So, I mean, we have the case here where that's going to probably happen against Mr. One. So you give him a barrage of attack. So another parallel here could be the case of, let's say, so Sanji's smarter, but Zoro has more range than Sanji. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and then when you look at, let's say, post-time skip, and I think it also kind of applies pre-time skip, but folks want to, egg on the whole Zoro took Luffy's pain, which is fine. But folks always forget
that is true.
That
is true.
In the middle of Thriller Bark, not only does Zoro get a power up in the sense of attaining Shisui, but also But again, to be fair, he did lose his sword in the other sword. He lost his other sword in Water 7. But he gets a problem nonetheless because the sword Shisui is way better than the other one he got, the Yabi Yubi. That one. But then also you have so on Zoro's side, people know what happens there. Sanji fought Abusam again. He actually took damage. but also he gets stabbed through his back, and he fights Oars one-on-one first. So it's like, okay, Sanji's already taken, by the time the Earth Shock is done, Sanji's already taken way more damage than Zoro. Like, way more damage. Until Zoro takes Luffy's pain.
The Thriller Bark example is I think the key. It's like people don't remember what Sanji does in arcs, but they remember the hype pieces that Zoro gets every time.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets skewed like that.
Well, here's the thing. Who took the pain? Zoro took the pain. We don't know if Sanji could take it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it was like...
But also...
If Kuma split it, and he's like, both of you take the pain, then I think that's a relevant argument.
But the thing about it is that people don't know that Sanji got stabbed because that's in the manga, not in the anime. In the anime, there's like a little shining like twinkle thing, and then Sanji gets like hit really hard, and he gets his line back.
Yeah.
But in the manga, he actually gets stabbed from his through his I think his shoulder or like through his chest. He gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Through his body. By Abu Salam, and again, he's taking the blows purposely to protect Nami. So again, the whole thing here is that Sanji had a much harder time with the bark than Zoro did, without question. And Sanji still stood back up after the Earth Shock. Zoro had it easy until Kuma hopped. No, he had it easy until Oars Jr. He had it easy compared to Sanji, without question. Without question. So again, there's more.
Hopefully, Sanji gets the recognition he deserves in Wano Country.
No, I don't think that. I think that the Zoro guys will still be the Zoro guys. I think folks for some reason, folks after Hokugan hate Sanji more now, which I don't understand why, but that's how they feel. So it is.
This situation reminds me of an arc called, Fishman Island, where there was blind hatred.
Yeah.
All right, and we need to fix that blind hatred. All right.
Yeah, because I feel like people just kind of forget the purpose of Hokugan as a whole when it came to what the point was in the first place, to get Sanji and get out. And people want to say, Zoro, we saw him, cut through this. So yeah, like Zoro's always had more DC than Sanji. That's not. I mean, honestly, no, that's not true. He's had more DC. He's had less DC until Dressrosa, because Sanji had the Hell's Memories where he watched his entire body, and that was again a new form that he showed with the Skywalk on top of that. So it was again very impressive stuff. But again, the burning of Watsumi's entire body pales comparison to, let's say, the 3,000 Worlds. But the 3,000 Worlds is one of Zoro's strongest attacks. Whereas Sanji has still yet to show, let's say, anti-mana, like kicks like that, where I would say they're strongest attacks. So,
which I think will be very soon.
Yeah. So I would say like a parallel here would be like, if you look at, I think it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when Sanji and Luffy, they did an elephant gun and a cross strike to deflect Big Mom's attack. That means that Sanji's cross strike is the same as an elephant gun. Yeah. And the elephant gun, we saw what that did to Pika when it blew up like Pika's face portion when he was in his Stone Mountain figure. So if the cross strike is parallel to the elephant gun, then the Sanji can do that too. But again, it's like there's certain things that people don't recognize because again, Zoro, he has the more hype stuff, I think for sure, because he has the more DC stuff. But the argument can easily be because again, I did realize this too. The parallel here is DC is one component of overall combat ability. Just because you have more DC doesn't mean they're superior, i.e. in the case of Whitebeard. Whitebeard had DC up the goddamn wazoo, but he took bullet wounds, he took stab wounds, he took
he had a heart attack after 10 minutes of combat.
Pretty much. Granted, that comes with age and health, but at the same time, again, he had all these.
You gotta factor that in.
Whereas if it's Big Mom, she's walking through that clean until an admiral comes in.
Even if an admiral comes in, we don't know how strong her haki game is.
Right, I mean, we know that it can block a Kong gun with ease, relatively speaking.
And according to the anime, it can block a Lyra bazooka.
Right, yeah. So it's like, okay, so her hockey game defenses are also astronomically powerful. So for the sake of, let's say, the Marine Force situation, you put in Whitebeard, he has a harder time in this case than, let's say, someone like Big Mom, who, again, is clean until an admiral comes in there. So...
And also, Big Mom, all Big Mom would have to do is jump on Zeus and just start spamming Alabama spears and win instantly. Doesn't even matter.
Right. I mean, she has mobility too.
just rain down the pain on the Marineford battlefield.
X, Y, and Z, to make sure that his boys can take it over the wall.
Yeah.
Big Mom fly over. Like, nah, like we're good. Like I'm still here with Zeus, and not only that, but I'm also controlling the weather with my two homies on your side to make sure that you're off.
Also, let's not forget the cognac. Right, she has sword skills as well.
It's like, again, like, there are certain things like you just have to, when you look at how powerful a character is, you have to gauge every component of their combat ability. There are certain characters, because again, One Piece is not Dragon Ball Z. One Piece is a series that you say that, but the reality is that there are so many folks that see.
I know.
Destroy this, therefore he's way stronger. It's like, no, it's part of the reason why I'm kind of confused as to why when I look at the list, you have Garp that high. It's like Garp has only shown strength, with other characters have shown strength, not as good as Garp's, but they've shown techniques.
King, remember, this is Christian's list that he has certain biases.
I'll tell you this. I have very good reasons. They're like our conversations that we can get into. All right, we could get into, but this episode's only like 3 hours, so let's not get into the Garb conversation.
Fair.
To get into the Garb conversation, you would have to get into the Rayleigh conversation.
It's a whole. It pieces the whole list together once I explain Rayleigh and Garb. All right. You just gotta.
Yeah. All right. So with that, King, the people should know who you are, but give the spiel.
All right, guys. So if you kids don't know, my name is the King Oo, not with a U, but the King of Lightning. As my YouTube name, that is my Twitch channel as well, with Kingoflightning Gaming, where I do my live reactions, always on time first there. Edit them always on YouTube. I predominantly One Piece. I also do Nanatsu no Taizai. I'm starting to get back to the groove of One Punch Man, and I'm starting to catch up to My Hero Academia and so on and so forth.
Jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get too many comments like, "Yo, my hero."
Just quickly, right? Give us your general thoughts on My Hero Academia. Is it as good as people say it is?
So I am halfway. I'm partway into this arc called the overall arc. And I think that to an extent it is overrated. I think that folks tell me that My Hero is better than Naruto Part 1.
King, I almost go on a
madness.
My Hero rant every week, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, okay. I think My Hero, so far in the series, I think it's like a 7 or like a 6.5 right now.
This is the thing. Us here, I've seen it all before.
Yeah.
But for the general public, it's all hype, it's all new.
I've read Naruto. I know what My Hero Academia is about. When are they going to show something new?
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Like My Hero, I think, does certain things that are fairly well. Like, it does kind of for example, I think folks would expect, someone, given a certain situation, like the mentor figure to kind of, pass away. But, the notions are subverted, and sort of thing. Actually, that happened, and okay, that's a little bit. My Hero does some things differently, but what it does different is not so much out of the grade. It's still shown in.
I'll explain what it does differently, right? It assumes that you know all the tropes of shonen, and therefore cuts out all the filler and setup. Right. That's why people like it.
Right. The whole notion is that it does the shonen tropes better than most of the other shonen.
It's streamlined. That's the best way.
Right, and also it streamlined it, and I think it does streamline it better. But does it do the tropes as a whole better? That I've yet to see at this point in the story. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So King just did a recent video on 18 anime girls in One Piece, or whatever you want to call it.
Top 18.
I jumped in, jumped out. It was getting weird. It was getting sexual.
Yeah, bro.
King,
what do you expect?
I don't know why you did that video, because now till the end of time, people are gonna be like, "Yo, where's Bonnie at? Yo, where's?"
Well, they can keep on asking. Bonnie's on a list. It is.
He has Big Mom on the list. So.
Yeah, because you have to listen. The list wasn't. The list was top girls, not necessarily top girls are pork or something like that. Hottest. It's not the hottest chicks.
Come on,
top chicks.
Come on, King.
Dude,
I
have Queen Otahime on the list. I have I have Belumere on the list. I have Dr. Kubreha on the list.
Well,
actors that
the good thing about Big Mom is that she's got a lot of experience. That's all we can say.
Big Mom, I think, is awesome. I the moments with Hoki Island, I enjoyed her as a whole. I think it was fun. Like I think Big Mom was a good old.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see 4 men try and justify female characters
and a female. And one female.
Okay, 4 men trying to justify why they like female characters to another woman. Go watch that video.
Pretty much. Yeah. If this was the Who I Would Pork list, it'd be a different list in many sense.
King, I'll tell you, you made one mistake.
Julie Bonnet on the list, maybe.
King, you made one mistake, and that was not inviting the Tech King. Yeah. All right, you need the Tech King in that stream because it would have got extremely cringy. Almost easily.
The thing about it is that, like, I put it like he probably was aware, but probably didn't want to be a part of it. All right.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He read fan fiction on his channel. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did read fan fiction on his channel.
Recently, 2 weeks ago. Anyway.
Yeah, well, whatever.
You can find us at the Red Force Podcast on Twitter, on YouTube. You can email the show, send any questions. Like and subscribe and whatever the fuck. Buy King shirts. I make them.
You know it.
More videos for King coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll eventually turn up.
It's a meme at this point, but they will turn up.
Yeah. They will turn up. I actually pre-record some stuff, so when I'm actually in Cali, that videos should come out more fluidly.
And I have inside baseball knowledge on what he's doing, so we'll keep that a secret.
Yeah,
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the Kingu coming along for
we do appreciate it.
Unexpected length episode. So
I think you're okay.
Well, it is what it is, man. I'm here. I'm here to.
He's here to talk. That's right, what he does. Shanks is go King.
Good night. Exposed.
Yeah, Kingoflightning exposed, definitely. Yeah, no, I just don't.